Hi, everybody. Welcome to Bad Science Sunday, where we take a comedic approach to can't talk today, debunking bad science on the internet. And this week we have with us, and let me know if I'm mispronouncing this, Daedalus Media.
That's right. Yep.
All right, from Two Guys Talking History. This week we only have one guy talking history.
The other guy's a little shy. It's a lot for him to be on camera with me. So yeah, you get me today.
No, yeah, I say the same of my co-host, but he puts up with me. We thank him for that. Um, so
I
we
I
have
have no choice.
generally.
I'm a
Oh, sorry,
parasite. I'm a
parasite.
parasite because I don't make my own content. I just appear on other people's channels to make content. So
He does. He does.
I'm kind of stuck with what you give me.
Um, so Daedalus. At the beginning, we do what I call my the elevator pitch because we commonly have different people at the beginning of the stream, then we do at the end of the stream. Would you like to tell everybody who you are and what you do? Elevator
Sure.
pitch.
So I'm Daedalus Media. I have a background in military history, American military history specifically. And me and another a friend of mine, we went to high school together. Uh, we decided to form a YouTube channel called Two Guys Talking History, where we cover history, obviously, but we also cover contemporary politics and contemporary current events, and try to use history to enlighten and get people to think about these things in different ways. Um, the channel itself is kind of this outgrowth of me and Hetman, my co-host. We used to hang out together at high school, hang out in his basement, play video games, and talk about history classes that we were taking. And we kind of just became that in our adult lives. So it's kind of a reflection of that, I think.
Interesting. So two guys just hanging out talking history in the basement, and you were just like, "Fuck it, let's go live."
Let's become real historians, and then we realized, oh God, there's no job prospects here.
Well, I mean, if you would like to teach a bunch of ungrateful kids in high school, I hear that there's a lot of states that have killed theirs and would probably appreciate you.
Yes, yes. Uh, until they kill me too.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say that
yeah.
doesn't seem like a
Well,
very
I
good
mean,
What
if we're
idea.
happened to the
just
last
talking
guy? Oh, he's
jobs,
up there.
all right. And you said your background's mainly in military history. Is that a new college major I'm not familiar with?
So depends on what you're doing. Most schools don't. Most schools have concentrations, right?
Hmm.
Not a lot of schools have that particular concentration for military history, unless they cater to veterans.
Hmm.
So, uh, and at the master's level, it's usually pretty common. But like for undergrad, unless they cater to veterans, they don't usually have that, and it's kind of a springboard usually into security studies.
Okay. Interesting. And actually, Cal says daddyless. Is that the new zaddy?
That's Titan's fault because he started that in the end time chat. Um, I know you're
Ah,
there, Titan.
Titan. All right.
Classic.
We do want to thank Deep State Annex for becoming a member, which is awesome. Welcome
Cultist.
to the cult. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties and vaginas. Also, just happened. Left-handed Jedi cannot talk today. Not to be outdone, has gifted us 10 more cultists. Welcome, welcome. Who do we have? 10 new cult members somewhere here.
We got Al Trucker. We got
All right. Oh, Al's
Gentleman
back. Woo!
Chestnut. Yeah.
Jeff, friend of the show. Doorknob Head, always good. We love to see it. James Nordhoff, Fade to Gray, No True Dino Man. Joshua G's, guys, that guy, certainly. Welcome to the fold.
Geez, I think.
We'll go with that. Alias fake name. Love you. Christopher Tablante, welcome back. Andrew Christofferson and Shane Billowitz, welcome. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas. We have stone vaginas here. We also have nitties and a bag of dicks. I'm working on getting that ass emote. One day. We will have it one day. All right. So, what were you saying?
I just said,
Okay.
all right.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Dr. T, what are we subjecting everyone to today?
We are subjecting everyone to one of my favorite topics, possibly if you put it, possibly my favorite topic, which is Hollow Earth, a full banned documentary, and the inner Earth physics is going to be explained. You guys, we should get excited for this. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we're getting our science on today.
And we have...
I forgot to ask, who explicitly banned this documentary?
They did.
They.
Oh, they. Got it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm familiar with they.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do not want you to know about this. And we are speaking truth to power today.
Indeed. And so we're here at the channel of the wonderful Dan Jules Soko, I think.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
And they've got almost 50,000 subscribers right here. You got that. Whoops. And this video has a wonderful 29,000 views. So that's what we're dealing with, people. That's what gets 29,000 views. Why don't we have 29,000 views?
I don't know. You guys are slacking. You guys all need to watch this like at least 5,000 times more.
And share it and hit the like button. You're all subscribed, so
yeah, like button.
But yeah, we're gonna skip the first 2 minutes because this is a bit of a long video, and
just a bit.
We have our work cut out for us, so we're gonna just be starting right off.
It's also dense.
It is dense.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon for us to stop every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Claimed that the Earth is hollow. And he didn't reach this conclusion based on assumptions. Halley dedicated more than a decade of his life gathering compass data from all over the world and thoroughly documented Earth's magnetic field. The astronomer came across numerous anomalous compass readings.
Oh wait, I think we started a little late.
We did start a little late, sorry.
Just want to make sure everybody knows who we're talking about.
There we go. This is where we should have started. Sorry, chat.
In 1692, one of Britain's greatest astronomers and mathematicians, Edmund Halley, made the claim that the Earth is hollow. And he didn't reach this...
No,
It's the Halley's Comic Guy, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's the Halley's Comic Guy. He was I believe, the second royal astronomer.
Cool.
Yes.
And yeah.
There was an American president who was willing to finance an expedition to see if the Earth was hollow.
Oh, because he believed Halley when he said it was hollow?
No, it was John Quincy Adams, who was just kind of a little bit off his rocker to begin with.
Ah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This conclusion based on assumptions. Halley dedicated more than a decade of his life gathering compass data from all over the world and thoroughly documented Earth's magnetic field.
So, Halley lived in, I believe, like the 1600s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they had great magnetic data from all over the world.
Not really.
Probably not.
I don't think that's a thing.
The astronomer came across numerous anomalous compass readings and did what he did best, maths and physics. His calculations, rumored to be double-checked by his dear friend Isaac Newton, arguably the smartest man to ever live, concluded that the Earth was hollow. He pictured...
Isaac Newton said the Earth was hollow?
No.
That doesn't sound like him.
No, I mean, and if he did, it was probably when he was doing his alchemy stuff. Because he spent way more time on alchemy
Oh, yeah.
than he did on physics and math. And it's a real shame because he was real good at physics.
Principia Mathematica is supposed to be a wonderful book, which I refuse to read.
I don't think it's very approachable. It's a pretty dense volume. I've read smatterings of it.
The whole Earth to contain a luminous atmosphere that would escape through.
Where does the if you drop something inside the hollow Earth, where does it go?
Oh, they get into that in a little bit. The gravity.
Oh yeah, yeah. There are people in
the
there
clothes.
that will catch it and keep it for you until you arrive. With hope of the aliens.
Right. Yeah.
And form the aurora borealis. The same theory was explored by Leonard Euler, the greatest mathematician to have ever lived.
I agree with that. I do think Leonard Euler was the greatest mathematician to have ever lived, in my opinion.
I have no opinion
So
on
can we
the
now
greatest mathematician to have ever lived, but
I know it's not me, that's for sure.
I'm just saying. I mean, not with you, with me. Yeah.
Use symbols like pi, the notation fx for functions, sigma for sums, and delta for finite differences. He is the father of several branches of mathematics and countless formulas. Euler was not someone people would normally argue with, especially about mathematics and calculations. Based on his own calculations, he believed the Earth was hollow, and
I find that unlikely. I have done no fact-checking on that. By the way, we're a terrible actual debunking channel because we don't
do
a lot of research.
Well, I always
we
do
do
it
the
real
research.
time sometimes.
We do the research we do, which is fine because a lot of this doesn't take a whole bunch of debunking. Pretty sure, if you can.
It looks like it's disputed even by the AI on Google that he believed in hollow
If
we
Euler
have
believed
Google
in
the
it,
AI on Google is not willing to give you how far from the light of God have you strayed?
Oh wait, okay? So what? I never saw King Kong versus Godzilla. I believe that's a movie. Did any of this happen? This is the second person to bring this up.
There is definitely Hollow Earth in some of those canons. I don't know the details. Apparently Professor Parks would know the details.
I know who would know?
Probably knows the details.
My co-host does the Godzilla stuff, so he would know.
I watched good to come on my show, though.
I watched 1998 Godzilla, and that's the only Godzilla I've ever seen, and apparently that's a travesty.
Please don't cancel me. I've never seen a Godzilla movie. I'm sorry. Horrible person. I already know. For $2, the Sinister Porpoise says, "Does the hollow Earth have magnets?"
This is what I was saying, Maya. This is what I was saying.
What?
That we have
This is a
bad
valid
fake
question.
actors.
People want to know.
Okay, you know what? If people want to know that, are they really people? This looks like a dolphin.
It's a porpoise, to be clear. Get it right.
I deserved that. Okay, moving on.
Contained an inner star instead of a molten core. It turns out he's probably right. He came to the conclusion that the inner sun had a diameter between 600 and 700 miles. And years later, seismology proved that the supposed inner core is exactly this big. Remember this number because I promise you later in this video to go through all of Euler's calculations in a simplified and understandable form. There are over a dozen brilliant mathematicians, astronomers, and physicists who believed in the hollow Earth theory. And some people like John Sims even pledged their life in an official declaration.
I think that if we actually looked up each of those people, very few of them would have actually believed in a hollow Earth.
I suspect that's the reason why the scroll was so quick.
Yeah.
So that you can't figure out who's who.
I have to say that, I'm looking at the bottom of the screen here, and I see reindeer. And
oh god, reindeer and sleighs. Yes.
I
don't think it's it's not like a Beyonce sleigh, right?
No. Yeah,
it could be. You don't know.
Reindeers do sleigh.
But yeah, they're large animals. They can be dangerous. They got the antler thing.
It's a sleigh queen. It's totally different.
Heard.
Let's ask our friends in Finland whether or not it's totally different.
Look, I don't believe anybody in Finland actually slays. Okay.
Yeah, but they might have been slain by a reindeer. It's entirely possible.
Well, that's not even the same spelling.
to claim the same thing. But the real question is it physically possible for a planet to be hollow? So let's explore the answer through physics.
Hey, can anybody help me out? Like, I just have a puny little girl brain. Is it physically impossible for a planet?
No!
It has mass. It's compacted mass, right? It's not really. Like,
No,
why would it become hollow?
It legitimately, I cannot, and normally I'm able to think of some weird way, right, that it could count sort of as hollow. Well, I cannot think of a way that a planet, an object which is large enough to satisfy the definition of a planet, not a dwarf planet, which also couldn't be hollow for the record, but maybe if you engineered it. But a planet, no, there's nothing that you could do to, there's no material that we have any idea of that could possibly exist that would be able to withstand those kind of forces. It's gonna collapse. That's how gravity works. It's very strong when you have that much stuff. And we're talking about a planet-sized amount of stuff. Okay,
wait. But have you considered aliens?
Yes, yes, I have, Maya.
The moon is hollow. There's aliens in the moon, right? That's the thing that they believe.
Well, it's different. The moon isn't like a planet, or it's a spaceship, right? So it wasn't constructed like the way the Earth or any of the other planets were, or any of the other moons. It's actually a spaceship that is spying on us, or a hologram. Tomato, tomato.
Yeah. He's basically proposing that the Earth is a giant Dyson sphere, and I mean, it's possible, right?
No.
What? Wait.
No.
But
just like that. No.
Wait.
Yes.
No. But Jordan from Spirit Science says, or whatever the fuck he's calling his channel, that it's totally possible. So there's
Well, here's my question for you, sir, Dr. Tapioca Weasel. Mm-hmm. If the planet's not hollow, where do they put the magnets to make the magnetic field?
Boom. Mic drop.
That's why the planet isn't hollow. Because the big-ass magnet is literally, that is true. You've got the core of the Earth, which is a giant hunk of iron. There are 3 elements that are magnetic. 3. Iron, nickel, and cobalt. And the core of the Earth is a giant hunk of iron, and it's rotating, apparently slightly slower than the rest of Earth is rotating.
So does that mean the movie The Core is scientifically accurate?
Right? That was what I thought too. By the way, the movie The Core is
fuck's sake.
My favorite.
It's my absolute favorite bad movie of all time.
Are we really doing this? Love her for it. Ember gifted us Robert Madewell, KW, Ian debunked. Let's farm. Triceratops is crumbly like an alt-universe raisin. Oh, no. Rachie? Right. Rachie. Tilting Windmill. B, what's up? Lady Starfire, Scott Duke, and Lena. Welcome back to the fold, or welcome to the fold, some of you. I don't really know what's going on. But please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas. Thank you again, Ember.
Yeah, The Core is my favorite bad movie of all time.
Damn it.
It is. It's the best bad movie.
Hey, look, there's a play button on a really long video that we have to get through.
They would say it's a force generated by any object with a mass, and it can be exerted in any direction. But it's proven that gravity is not exactly a one-way force, as many
Nobody says gravity is a one-way force.
People believe. In case of a spherical object like Earth, gravity is exerted from the surface of the Earth toward the center, and from the center.
Gravity works like putting a rubber band around a ball, or 2 rubber bands around a ball.
Well, he's proposing a system of gravity in which gravity is both pulling down and pushing out to make the planet hollow, which I suppose would only work if there was a magnet involved. But
I mean, is that wrong?
I have to deal with chat. Yes.
I've heard more than once that magnets disprove a around Earth, or a globe Earth.
I do have a confession. Titan put me up to it. The magnets.
Well, you know what? That does not surprise me at all, because Titan is a Satanist.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Toward the surface, as well as between phased parts on both sides of the center and along the perimeter. The gravity force directed
I don't know what gravity along the perimeter means. It's
from the center toward the surface will contribute in creating a hollow planet.
So
in
is
the
there
core of this
different gravity around the perimeter than inside?
Apparently.
Okay.
I mean, you will have a different gravitational, like net gravitational force inside the planet versus outside. If you have a hollow shell, all of the mass is distributed
Evenly?
on some, a perimeter, and it doesn't have to be infinitely thin. It can be, it could be like a really thick hollow sphere. But inside the hollow area, you will have no gravity. It's a very standard problem in undergraduate physics that to compute that. It's for exactly the same mathematical reasons that if you have a charged up metal sphere and you go inside of it, that there's no electric field inside of the sphere, unless there's other crap there.
Okay. Dave has a really good question, and I've seen this multiple times in chat. I think it's really popular.
According to our Lord and Savior, Ben Shapiro, things shouldn't get wet ever.
Oh, yeah. Facts.
His
things
wife
don't
is a
get
very
wet.
unfortunate woman.
Yeah. Facts.
Also,
Wait.
I don't know if I love how the YouTube text to speech here said creating a halal planet.
Ha ha. It's like I don't know what to do with these words. This is as good as any of the other ones.
It's hollow, not halal.
I mean, maybe it is a halal planet. Who fucking knows?
I know.
Oh, and you know what? I do want to
pigs on
thank
it,
Ember for I forgot when I was shouting out Ember. She did gift us 10 memberships, but she also rated us. So thank you, Ember.
Be in any shape depending on the circumstances and the forces surrounding the object. Moreover, the high-pressure gases produced by the melted lava from the crust will occupy the center of the object due to spinning around its center, and will further contribute to creating the...
What? The hot high-pressure gases, they're the thing that's like pushing it out. What are these gases made out of?
Well, yeah, it pushes everything in, and then at some point it starts to push everything out. When would that be, Doctor?
Well, what if the Earth's not hollow and it's just a giant heart that's beating, right, and pushing the gases in? And
shut up, Roger.
Yeah, I was like, you've been hanging out with some fundies. I see it. I like that in you, though. For $10, Sandring says, everyone knows the moon is a disguised spaceship named Dahak? Yeah.
I don't know the reference.
Well, no, I mean, it is known. I don't know how you missed that in physics
school. The extremely hot gas.
I'm not very smart, Maya.
Gas trapped in the middle could potentially turn into a miniature version of a star under the pressure of gravity. This will allow for the hollow air pocket to be inhabited by people and animals.
Don't stars undergo, like, I'm going to say the wrong thing here, but fusion, right?
Yes, you are exactly right.
Yeah, so a pile of gas in one place is not a star because it's hot. It's got to undergo fusion. I think we froze Dr. Tapio Weasel here.
Oh, God.
Hetman is here. Look at him.
Okay, Hetman. Oh, Hetman. I remember something with Hetman. Wait, was I in a panel with Hetman?
Yes, he is the co-host.
Are we back?
Yes. Hi, Hetman. Oh, goddamn. All right, my co-host is playing hot potato or
Phasing in and
some
out of
such
weaselness.
nonsense. Look, that oh no, like he's ruining the stream. What the fuck?
Am I back?
Maybe are you?
Maybe. Okay. I don't know
No.
what happened
So
there.
I see. I am better than was it Lucy or I think it was Lucy I was with. Is it Lucy Hayes? Yes. So I love Lucy. So she
Everybody
kept
loves Lucy.
she kept streaming, so I went to her channel and I was like, "Hey, I can't stay, but oh, I'm sorry, doctor. I forgot to tell you. All right, so I was in Daedalus' channel the week that you abandoned me. What the fuck? And
Huh.
I didn't know what to do. I was a woman without a home, and Daedalus was so gracious as to invite me to his so that I could rant about my favorite thing in the world, politics. And like why everybody is trying to kill me with by not voting. Like I don't understand this. But then Biden dropped out and people got excited again and they were like, well, I guess we'll vote to give you rights, little lady. Your little lady brain. So thank you, Daedalus, for giving me a
Well,
home when my own
thank you.
co-host was
Thank you for showing
ill.
up. Because that was an emergency. I'm throwing panels together as fast as humanly possible day.
I was happy
It
to
was our
be
first
there.
panel too.
Yeah, no, that was a great panel. And you know what?
Yeah, we're
It
probably
was
going to do it
kind of
more
a
in the
crazy
future.
day. I had like just all of my political groups going wild, and I'm like, I need to, sometimes like you're all fuddle nuts, and you're like, I need to just talk it out. But I don't do a good job of talking to myself. So when I'm banter helps, where I don't feel like I'm a lunatic, but talking to like the wall or some such
Yeah.
shit.
Plus, if you invite Brooks, you don't have to do that much talking at all.
At all. Like, yeah, Brooks is great for talk, for like just if you just want to phone it in. Just like,
He called in
that
again
guy.
last week, and I'm like, oh
Lucy
god,
though,
I gotta end out
I'm
the
so good.
stream somehow.
No, it was great to meet Brooks.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, but Lucy, I was like right next to her on the screen whole time. It's like, hey, it's me. I'm talking. And so I go into her stream 2 days later, like 2 days later. I go to her stream and she's like, oh, Maya, it's your first time here. How did you find me? And I'm like, you may remember
Yeah.
me talking to me for 2 straight hours 2 days ago, or not.
Lucy's wonderful, but
She's wonderful.
sometimes she forgets things, especially now that she's running back and forth between Warsaw and Kyiv.
Which is crazy. But I mean, I mad respect. Mad respect. All right, back to Nazi propaganda.
Wow. I didn't know that you were never mind.
Walking underground would be facing the other side and opens the possibility to the existence of a captivating world filled with oceans, islands, continents, and different cultures, all underground. An alien world within our reach. Perhaps we would find
That's apparently
planets in extinct
Pandora.
I mean, right?
Oh, well, I guess it would have to be, right? I mean, do they have plate tectonics in the inner Earth?
I have no idea. They might have floating islands, though, but due to the thing I said about gravity, although he does think there's an inner star.
Oh God, people see a puppy in the background.
Hi, Baba. You're on camera. Yeah. He doesn't care.
Dad's sitting over there ignoring me. God damn it.
Now he cares.
species. Enormous
Oh wait, do you want to gratuitous puppy pics?
Sorry.
Wait, whoa.
This
Sorry.
is Avery the history
Sorry.
dog.
Oh,
He
what?
hangs out wherever I hang out.
Yeah, how dare you put Avery in a corner, Dr. Tapioca Weasel? He needs camera time.
I am absolutely at fault for that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
also though,
hi.
you know what? We haven't applauded anyone. The Kentucky atheist, not to be misconstrued with any of the other Kentucky atheists, some of which are in the chat tonight, has gifted us 10 more cult members. And those went to Kata. Kata, if you're out there, we love you and we miss you. Come on back. Malaysia. Oh, Malaysia's awesome as well. Jerry Danowski. Never heard of you, but you want to come in and chat. Feel free. Mr. Anderson, friend of the show. Mage Grey Wolf. Go Ivan. Um, CDN Ollieman, which I believe is Canadian. Ember once told me that that was Commander Ollieman, which doesn't make any sense. But now that I heard it, it won't not. I can't not see it. I believe it's Canadian Ollieman. Stephanie Campbell, Triceratops is crumbly. Whoa. No, you already got it. Kelly A. And President Sunday. Hey, I never see President Sunday in my chat. And feel free to come by. All right. So thank you. The Kentucky atheist, friend of the show. Love you lots.
Mythical legends, and much more than our imagination can conceive. And we don't need to drill the Earth's crust for 500 miles. We can enter through the polar openings.
What polar openings?
Oh, at the poles. At the poles. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to go into Robert Byrd, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
So that the aliens can guide you into it. Yeah. I'm here to help.
I don't think so.
Many calculations prove the existence of these very same openings.
They don't. There aren't calculations based on reasonable starting assumptions that demonstrate anything in the same universe as this idea.
He's going to be really shocked when he learns about nuclear submarines popping up through the ice too.
Yeah, but this is a physics class on how to understand the inner Earth. So you guys must not be paying attention.
I know somebody. I had a 4-hour conversation with them yesterday, Landon Knoll, who has been to both poles.
He's been to both poles?
Both poles. I don't know if he's been to the northern pole more than once, but he has been inside of
the Earth? Holy shit! Why didn't you invite him?
He's been underwater underneath the ice caps at a location in the Northern Ocean where longitude is indeterminate, which means that he was at the North Pole.
Yeah, I was thinking that because I think they go over in a little bit here where it's just like why things don't work correctly there. But I'm like, when you're at the north, or south, isn't every direction the same? So
it's kind of like if you're at the South Pole, it's every direction.
Everything's south or north. Yeah.
Exactly. And because of that, your longitude is not well defined because are you at 90? Like it's the same point because they all
they're converging. They're converging points.
Right.
And you already get
you can't when you're at that point. Everything is either north or south.
Yeah, you're already going to get navigational variations, even if you're
everything's
even if you're sitting in like the middle of the United States, right? There is
but
magnetic
currently
delineation.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you get there, your Met compass is not going to be really terribly helpful.
Yeah. Mm. I mean, if you're trying to travel, east or west, it's going to be you're kind of fucked. But or even north or south, like say north or south, but like to get to any other direction, you're kind of fucked. Are you sure it's not because there's nowhere else to go but in, and aliens are fucking with the compass?
Maybe. Santa's workshop has to be in Hollow Earth, Professor Parks, because they probably haven't abolished slavery in Hollow Earth yet.
Oh, yeah. I have it in good authority that Santa is pro-slavery.
In 1735, the French Geodesic Mission confirmed Isaac Newton's assumptions that, thanks to the centrifugal force of the spinning Earth, the Earth has become slightly flatter at the poles.
Hey, that's true. That's true. It does. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. No. So if it was perfectly round, it would be like I'm not wearing a good color. You know what this needs?
Well, I like it better than when you took your shirt off. And that probably sounds bitchy, but facts. Right.
You
That
were just unhappy that I was so far away and I couldn't come and give you the loving in person. Okay.
Oh yeah, Daedalus, I do apologize that you didn't get the complimentary strip tease from the doctor here.
that's okay. I'm sure there'll be other appearances, hopefully
Chat.
before that happens.
If you super chat $50 in the next 5 minutes, I will take off my shirt.
Super chat in singles, everyone.
Yeah, everyone super chat singles. Nah, I'm gonna need a $500 super chat. Just so the good doctor doesn't lose respect. Those titties are worth money.
Boons, 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 boons. Oh, sorry.
No,
So,
I did that last stream and I couldn't turn it off. It was horrible.
so this is
Or
the Earth.
hilarious. That's the Earth.
Pretend this is a perfect circle. Okay, it's very obviously not a perfect circle. Work with me here,
No,
okay?
yeah, no, it's a perfect circle.
And when it's spinning, you do in fact have centrifugal force, which is a thing that does exist in a rotating reference frame. You can also just think about it as a contribution to the acceleration downward. And therefore, it actually looks a lot more like...
Oh, hell, the holy whiteboard.
I can't stand.
Saturn.
So it becomes, well, you know what? It's because
That kind of looks like a Titan Uranus.
So
everybody, Uranus.
Flat and squishy. Okay, because this part goes out and this part goes out and these parts, because there's still only a finite amount of stuff, will go in a little bit. And they do in fact become flatter. And so he is correct that the poles are closer to the center of the Earth than points on the equator are at sea level.
Indeed. That was I don't know. That was apparently such a great explanation that everyone decided to say, show me your nitties. So for $5, a Kentucky Atheist says, I need that. Richard Dias says, here's the first $2. $10, Nitty says, against my better judgment. I did not think that I thought the chat would actually pay to have you put your shirt back on.
Well, they might.
It might be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: they can only pay me to have my shirt back on if my shirt is off, right?
Well, no, they can preemptively pay you to keep your shirt on too.
Jester, Lord of Fools says, "Oops, my finger slipped." Which, what girl hasn't heard that once or twice?
Fair.
Okay.
And Ember, she has also, for other reasons though.
And what are we doing? AR. Make it rain. Clap them cheeks.
Wait, so what are we at now?
I'm trying to do like math and shout out shit, but like I don't know. I think we've spoken.
I think we're at 41.
Ember says for the whiteboard,
41.
but I think we have to make it rain. Clap them cheeks.
Oh no! Now we're at $4. Yeah. Okay. Sinister's.
No, I mean we're at much more higher than that. Where are we at? Fern says keep it on. It's like money to keep it on. I don't know. We're kind of climbing though. Where are we at? So I can't math in my head. Been very clear about this. So I'm whipping out the calculator. Plus 2,
I'm pretty sure
10,
we're currently at
20,
46.
2, 5, 46. $4 more to see the holy weasels. Oh my God. Wait, who can stream at a time like this? All right. Wait, what's video game music? I can't hear the music again.
What music?
No music?
I never heard any music.
Does anybody ever hear any music? Anyone? Oh, Professor Parks, cough, just the tip, cough, cough. I mean, just at a tip. I don't know.
This is a good question. Should Fern's $5 count as negative? Because Fern did want it to be.
Oh, no, we set the terms.
Wait, can anybody hear music? Are we doing music? I can't hear
I
anything.
can't hear any
I
music.
cannot hear music.
Cannot hear music. All right.
I mean, but this, okay, you know, everybody else, and we didn't say that you had to earmark it, so
No, we
I
did
need the music.
All right, so now I need to figure out how to do music.
Yeah, I
When
can't, like,
all right, is anybody in the chat hearing
I'm not
music?
taking my
Yes,
pants off, I'm
no.
taking my shirt off.
Nope,
But this
they can't
isn't,
hear music either. So the music was just like, fuck you. Oh, wait a minute.
oh, I thought
No,
That guy's
we're doing this
dancing.
last time. If anybody would like to clip this. Aren't pink nipples like a, what do you call it? Like a better porn site?
where are my glasses? Where's my headphones?
Only ditties.
You see what you did to me, chat?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is getting taken down.
legitimately cannot find my headphones.
Daedalus, I apologize.
Oh, it's not the worst. That's not the worst thing that's ever happened. You didn't catch the caller at the end of my last show.
My shirt.
I think I did, where somebody called in and like just screamed at you for one, your mic quality, and then two,
Has a larger radius in your equator.
all of this, and then you were like, "Fuck you," and then you're like, "Yeah, we're done with it." And then you ended the stream, which is epic. Yeah. Which is epic. And again, I lurk a lot, but
I'm back.
I am sorry, I totally forgot about you. This has nothing to do with any funding challenge. Yeah, I don't know.
Am
but
I keeping this off, or do I have to put it back on?
Yeah, was really excited to see your nipples. I don't know if they thought they were going to see my nipples. That's not a thing. Yeah, I'm like a Ken doll under here. It's, you know.
I can make it nicer for the algorithm.
What the fuck is going on now?
I'm wearing my clown cape.
Oh,
clown cape.
Your clown cape. I thought it was like a what do you call it? A pride flag. Like, are you wearing a flag?
I mean, it's a cape. It's got a thing in the back to be a cape, right? So.
But we're totally like LGBT friendly here. And if you're not LGBT friendly, please unsub and leave the chat, because
man,
I'm gonna make it very uncomfortable for you.
I'm
like, I don't even, I mean, I don't know. My mods believe in banning, and like when people are being bigoted assholes, like I don't even question what they did. Me, on the other hand, I am. Yeah, like you're gonna question your like humanity, like just am I even a person? Because like I'm gonna make you feel about this big. We affirm here. Period. All right, what's going on inside the Earth, Doc?
That's proof that centrifugal force and gravity work together in shaping our planet and all other planets.
Yes, that's true. Gravity and centrifugal force do work together in shaping our planet.
For that matter. Let's take a closer look at how centrifugal force acts upon objects like water drops. Here we can...
That's a piece of ice, I think. I actually don't know what that is.
You can see how the force distributes air bubbles within a sphere, allowing for an inner opening. Near the poles of a planet, centrifugal force is practically zero, which means...
I think that is a spinning droplet. That's kind of cool.
It looks like a marble.
Yeah. It looks all funky and cool, and you know what it also looks like? It looks like it's either made out of ice or water. Liquid water. And you know
or
what?
Glass.
The earth, you know what the earth, or glass. It could be. That's fair.
It might be glass. Yeah.
I guess the Earth is. There's a lot of glass in the Earth. Like there's a lot of silica in the Earth. So the point I was going to make, which is that the Earth is not made out of water, becomes less convenient.
Okay.
Gravity is much stronger on the poles than anywhere else on the planet or object that is spinning. All of this means that in places where gravity is stronger, the crust will be thinner, allowing for openings between the inner and outer world. The case might be that objects in the universe that don't spin don't have polar openings, and the ones that spin have them. But it's a personal hypothesis of
all the objects in the universe spin, basically, for some reason or another.
Quantum particles with spin 0 don't spin, but
but I'm not entirely certain those are planets.
and I'm entirely certain they are not planets, in fact.
Fair enough. Like, I took biology in college, so I cut up in a frog, right?
Yeah, fair. He probably had it coming.
He did. He was a jerk.
Jeremiah was a good friend of mine, okay?
Well, that's unfortunate choice of friends there.
we won't explore it.
Sorry.
All of this is explained with the help of NASA's accepted theory of gravity. The study I'm citing is
I gotta say, gravity has been around in multiple forms way before NASA, or at least one of the forms was way.
Wasn't
before
NASA like founded in like the 50s or some shit?
Yeah, so there was
49.
a agency that basically like became the agency that then renamed itself to NASA.
Wait,
but
what was it before?
I can't remember exactly. It might have been a split off or something because.
No, I'm sorry.
58.
I just missed it.
58.
Okay. 58. Okay. So
Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, that was probably like a fairly direct response to Sputnik.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. More than likely.
Wrong tonight, because if I get dates wrong tonight, Stephanie Helms will be waiting for me in the alley.
Yeah.
Oh, right. But to his point, so there's no gravity before 1958?
No accepted theory of gravity before 1958, apparently.
Oh, right. When the Illuminati created NASA and all of its shills. Where's my goddamn check? I'm sorry. I have an email to
Maya.
Right. Yes.
I'm not wearing a shirt and it got you $50. Okay, that's where your check is.
Look, that's not nearly enough zeros to like replace my NASA shill check. Okay, I've got an email. Just keep the video going.
Largely based on their gravitational work frame, as we can clearly see in the study's references. The radius of the Earth is easily calculated when you know the circumference of the equator, but at the poles that's different. The radius there is 6,357 kilometers, or...
I'm gonna bet that's like probably true, doing no further thinking about it, based solely on the fact that it seems low enough effort that he would just Google it and therefore get the right answer.
No, we can't Google. That would be research. And
are you calling me a Google debunker? That makes me Google debunkers.
No, I think he won't look into anything he's saying.
Fair. And you know what? I'm not going to look into almost anything he's saying either, unless it really makes me...
What do you say? Go back.
Here? What?
Yeah, go back one. Let's see what he said.
Earth is easily calculated when you know the circumference of the equator, but at the poles that's different. The radius there is 6,357 kilometers, or smaller by 21 kilometers.
6,371 kilometers per Google.
That's... Didn't you... Wait, hold on.
There is 6,357 kilometers, or
3,057 kilometers, and you're looking at the polar radius?
60,057. Oh, fuck. He's right. Never mind.
I told you.
smaller by 21 kilometers or 13 miles. Just for scale, the deepest hole we've ever dug on Earth is 12,000 meters, or around 7.5 miles. That's roughly half of this 6-mile difference. If we pair that with the lack of centrifugal force and higher gravity at the pole...
That's a hurricane.
Yes.
Right? It's... Yeah.
Are you sure it's not like the hole into the center of the Earth?
They pulled the plug and the Earth is spinning into the hole like the bathtub is draining, right? That's got to be what's happening here.
Clearly.
There might be a magnet there to help too.
You know what? That offends me almost as much as Fern's most recent statement that I refuse to do research when confronted with new data. Okay, do you know how long I spend talking with flat earthers each week? Don't ask questions. Maya will kick me off channel for answering.
The distance between the enormous cavity in Earth and the outer surface would be minimal.
Where was I? I was trying to. Oh, here we go. Holy Spackle celebrates 5 months as a cultist. Thank you. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas. Same with Mark Reed, who is a member for 5 months, and B.S. Lewis. Actually, all 3 friends of the show, a member for 5 months, and they all, of their own accord, have decided to pledge their loyalty and support to the Queen and her loyal, her loyal sycophants, Mr. Tapioca Weasel.
Welcome
to the cult. All. Welcome to the fold. Mwahaha.
He has decided to chew on his blanket in a fit of pique because I'm not talking to him.
I swear your dog is a cat.
A little bit.
Minimal exactly at the poles. Even Neil Armstrong hinted something before his death, because there's evidence the moon is also not exactly what we think it is.
There are great ideas undiscovered. Breakthroughs available to those who can remove one of truth's protective layers.
Before we completely disprove the theory of Earth having a core and replacing
we're
it
about
with
to
an inner sun.
Disprove the theory of Earth having a core. I am excited. Are you psyched?
Well, no, but because where will Hilary Swank and Aaron Eckhart fall in love?
Well, Gartha, obviously. Duh.
Fair. Man, there is no way we're getting through this video.
Sometimes they come for the video, and sometimes they come just to give us money to see your nitties. For $5, Skeptics and Scoundrels, friend of the show, says, I'm sending you... Oh, wait, did I already say that? $50 invoice for eye bleach and therapy.
No.
That can go to Dr. Tapioca Weasel at P.O. Box. Tapioca Weasel. Yeah.
That definitely sounds like a U.S. Postal Service postal office box.
What, are you doubting me? I'm a goddess.
Not publicly, no.
You know what those sound like? Those sound like weasel words. We are a proud people.
We must check how scientists first came to believe that our planet has a core. To determine whether that makes any sense, the idea of an inner core was born through a seismology hypothesis. It is solely based on the fact that there is a large sphere in the middle of the Earth that blocks the transmission of seismic waves. That occurrence was first detected in 1936. Seismic waves are used to observe and predict earthquakes, but they can show us so much more. There are 2 types of seismic waves, type S.
This already should have a change in the... I guess there might be a little one.
I don't go through different areas, right?
Exactly.
Right? It's just different densities.
There's basically an index of refraction for these waves. It's not the index of refraction of light, because let me tell you, all the stuff is totally opaque to light.
Yeah.
But waves are waves. They can have in here they have very well defined polarizations. I don't know if sound waves in atmosphere have good polarizations. I don't really think so. But it's basically what direction the stuff is moving. Is it moving like this way, or is it moving like this way, or is it moving like this way? Sometimes this way and this way will behave differently. And the speed of a wave is going to change when the medium in which it is embedded changes.
It's different.
Like this this is a very generic thing, and so you get reflection, a little bit of reflection, and you also get that the angle would change. It's very analogous to what happens with a lens with light. And you can also see it if you have like a pool of water and you have a bunch of little ripples going across, and then suddenly the depth of the water changes dramatically, and it goes from being 3 feet deep to being 1 centimeter deep. The wave speed is going to change there. That's not related to the density so much. That's a more complicated phenomenon. It has to do with how much the whole thing of water moves. But
real quick, Nitty, yes, I'm cashing the stream. It's totally me. It's nothing to do with Dr. Tapioca Weasel's nitties. What the fuck? Doorknob Head for $10 says, cult this. Andrew, yes, seismic. We've all been saying it wrong our entire lives. Also, who Left-Handed Jedi has been a cultist for 6 whole months. Man, I don't even know what to say about that. Just thank you. Thank you.
Left-Handed Jedi, I think Left-Handed Jedi was our first cultist.
Somebody was, yeah.
It was either
might have been you
or Alstrocker. well, yeah, but I don't count as a cultist. Okay, I'm in.
Oh yeah, you're a the Grand Weasel.
You're in the inner circle, right?
But we do love a good Jedi, which is why he has his own emotes. Gotta come here to get him, folks. Gotta come here, sir.
I am going to push back slightly against the moniker Grand Weasel. I think for obvious reasons.
Fair. Okay. Yeah.
Also, Dr. Tapioca Weasel's ancestors used to own my ancestors, which is why we believe in reparations here.
Would you rather me embrace it, Maya?
And type P. P waves can travel through anything except vacuum, and depending on the material they're traveling through, the speed and direction of the wave can vary.
Yes, absolutely true.
Why did his model not show that like a minute ago?
He didn't make that diagram, so
fair.
Unless he did. If he did, then yeah. But it's a lot of work to get a bunch of clips and make together a YouTube video. That's why we don't do it, and we do reaction videos.
This means we can roughly guess what material these waves go through. At some point before reaching the center of the Earth, the waves...
This is exactly what the wave is propagating, and because there's a gradient of density here, it's going to curve. And then when it goes from one material to another, it's going to bend based on essentially the index of refractions of the various materials. And these will change. In a glass lens, the density doesn't change, but the amount that you go through changes. So that's how it matters. And then it bends again here. And notice that when you go straight on, it doesn't bend because there's nothing to set a direction for bending, basically.
Also, Cadence Slinker does have a question. If Earth doesn't have a core, does that mean other planets also don't have cores? I don't know per se. However, if there are if there are interplanetary beings inside of the planets, then no. The sun, I do have it on good authority from Spirit Science, has a core and inner sun people, because the shell or the surface of the sun is a shell, and then there's an inner sun, which is where people live, and then there's the rest of the stuff that looks like this. But the inner sun, right, is cool because the outside, the perimeter, the shell, is where the heat comes from. Because of reasons that are totally not fusion or maybe, but only on the surface of the sun, not inside.
You gotta figure if the aliens had to build planet after planet after planet to fill this universe, right? They would have had to have an industrialized, standardized process. So if the Earth doesn't have a core, then it stands to reason that the other planets built by the aliens don't have cores also.
But only the other planets built by the aliens, sans Moon, which is clearly a spaceship. How's your brain, Doctor?
change their direction, which means the medium they go through also suddenly changes. P waves are not what helped the idea of a molten core form in the first place. It's the seismic type S waves that matter here, because
for the record, they're totally a big part of the same puzzle.
unlike P waves, they are unable to travel through atmosphere or
Oh my god.
gases. And guess what? The same place the P waves get diffracted, the S waves are blocked, meaning there's air that blocks them. Looking at S waves.
What?
What?
Whoa.
No!
Is that how that works?
No! It is not air. None of these waves travel through air. Seismic waves do not travel through air.
It's
Okay?
seismic queefs.
Yeah, it's
Seismic queefs do not travel through. They do not drive, travel, whatever these scientists think. All of this is wrong. All of this is.
I will agree.
In different ways.
This is not what I learned in my 5th grade earth science class, which could probably debunk all of this. Is it just me?
I think Gregor Mendel is a pea plant that's going to object to this. Jesus.
Yeah.
Maybe some of those waves are recessive.
They're blocked by a large spheric shape, most likely an enormous air pocket.
No, that's not science. You're just making it up. Stop.
But no, this is physics that proves.
And look
So,
at
like,
it. Look, it's
oh, there's an air. There's a space. It must be an air pocket. What? No.
It's showing like it at a certain angle they do penetrate in, but like at this angle they would just reflect off. They wouldn't go through, and that gives a shadow zone. There's a chunk where these wow DKH. There's a chunk where these things like aren't visible, and it's not as crisp as this figure would make it like seem, because all of these things are like there's a gradient in terms of density and stuff, but it's a quantifiable model. And I gotta say, air is essentially a vacuum in this context. Air is not going to make any of these waves go through. That's not how it works. These waves are matter moving back and forth with an amount of energy that an atmosphere is just not. It's just not gonna do it, man. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And we know how this works. Something shear modulus.
Mm-hmm.
Big enough to fit 4 continents. So there is no way for a molten core to be there. If there was one, S waves would freely travel through, but they are blocked. And what is the only?
There are more things that block S waves and or block whatever type of wave. I'm not a geologist. I'm not a geophysicist. I don't actually even know. No,
Are you a 5th grader? Oh my god. Because I kind of feel like he's not smarter than one.
Yeah, like knowing, like I don't know, like for all I know, he could have S wave and P wave totally flipped, and I wouldn't know because I don't necessarily know what they are in this context. S wave and P wave are also a thing in optics, but it's a totally different thing. It's a totally different thing with a lot of analogies. Anyway.
Only thing that can block S waves, it's air.
No.
And P waves usually travel through areas of lower density. They find the path of least resistance. From the image presented, we can see P waves taking the path of least.
Oh,
this is a really cool image.
It is. Hey, but did you know that before they figured out neutron stars, pulsars were given the initials LGM for little green men? Coincidence? I think not.
Coincidence with what? What is being coincidental? What is coinciding with the other thing?
God, it's like your first day here or something.
The pyramids, right?
The answer is always aliens. Star Song is paying attention.
Hang on, I'll do the History Channel thing. Aliens.
Hello?
I'm going to let my hair down.
resistance. Instead of going through the inner sun, apparently after the crust, there's another medium, air, and there's something extremely dense, floating in the middle of this air pocket, an inner sun. And in the image I showed,
An inner sun. Because you got to have a dense thing, and you can't have the core. The core's not allowed to be a dense thing. You're not allowed to actually take seriously any of the, and never mind.
Jan Lamprecht solved the mystery of the shadow zone, common problem in seismology, and this gives the Hollow Earth an inner sun theory, while
This is not a problem. This is one of its greatest successes.
simultaneously disproving the existence of the inner molten core. For those of you who are wondering what's the difference between having a core and the sun, while both objects are extremely dense and hot, the difference is that there's an air pocket between the Earth's crust and the dense object. So if there is no molten core, how would Earth have a magnetic field? If instead of a core we have an inner sun, then Earth...
Is he saying that the core is the inner Earth sun?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm following along. And that's the dense thing, not like him.
His brain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earth's magnetic field would be similar to the one of the sun, just weaker and smaller. In fact, they're very similar. Usually an electromagnetic field...
So the dense inner Earth sun is causing the Earth's magnetic field?
To be like the magnetic field of the sun.
Which... They're both roughly dipoles. I mean, I get that's the only similarity. And let me tell you,
that's a magnet.
Yeah, and Roger loves saying dipoles, inaccurately, but he does love talking about them. So, coincidence?
Yeah.
Look, I think not.
Yeah.
Generated by a rotation of a massive object alone. So what?
Hold on.
Be similar to the one of the sun, just weaker and smaller. In fact, they are very similar. Usually an electromagnetic field can be generated by a rotation of a massive object alone. So what?
A magnetic field can be generated by a rotation of a massive object alone. I think the object has to have some properties generally.
Yeah.
But giant...
because we have a lot of planets, which are giant objects that have no magnetic field. So
if they're giant, very hot, metal, particularly if they're made out of a magnetic material such as iron, a giant hot spinning ball of iron, that's an excellent candidate for creating a magnetic field.
But could it be an inner sun?
No, it couldn't. It could not. Gravitationally, it could not.
But we have physics here proving the inner sun.
I don't know.
I chopped liver?
Very convincing.
I
work at Stanford. I'm calling credentials over this guy. Well, thank God I don't have math.
Kind of. He said math, and which is something.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. This image kind of makes the planet look like it's an orange.
And it's getting...
what is it?
It does kind of look like
James and the Giant
mold.
Oh, yes.
James and the Giant Peach.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, I did bite into a peach once, and it did not resemble this, but I'll agree.
What proves there is a sun inside Earth and it's not completely hollow? First, the seismic waves that prove there is something dense in the center, surrounded by air. And the second proof is the main part of this equation that...
Wow.
What just happened?
This equation clearly proves it, Maya.
I don't math.
Don't actually...
And he has math. So, checkmate, physicist.
I want to be clear. I have never actually taken a course in general relativity. I'm pretty sure this is some version of the Riemann curvature tensor. Because...
So you don't know? So, wait.
Well,
I know this. I know this. If you don't know, therefore God. I mean, Hollow Earth.
I'm just saying we've got some TMU news here, and we've got some metric, tensors here, and all that. So I'm pretty sure that's what this is. But this has nothing to do with what he's saying, unless this is some weird stress strain stuff.
The only one I know in there is C,
and
that's the speed of light.
Exactly. G and C, those show up in general relativity together.
I have no idea what it is. What is G? What is C? Talk to me.
Capital G is the gravitational constant.
Okay, what's little g? I see a lot of little g's.
Little g, in most contexts, little g is the local gravitational acceleration. Here, it is the metric. It's the metric of space-time, I believe.
Okay, what's R?
And it's R, I think, is the Riemann curvature tensor.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
And C is the speed of light.
Yeah. T?
Pi is pi. T, I believe, is the stress energy, the stress energy tensor. But, again, I haven't actually learned these things properly. I'm a quantum physicist, not a general relativist. Well, I'm just saying, I could be wrong.
My grandfather's God.
I didn't say that. I said he was Thor. And I didn't say that this screen.
What's that little triangle thing down there?
Outlines the correlation between magnetic moments and angular momentum. Earth's magnetic field is much stronger than what it would have been if there was no inner sun or core in it. The magnetic field of our planet is influenced by something else and not rotation alone. The inner core was never proven to exist. What's proven is that
everything you're talking about makes so much sense with an inner core of iron, dude.
Something dense and dynamic in nature is positioned in the center of the Earth. They just labeled it a core, and that's what governments teach us in school. But there is evidence that almost
how dare
the governments teach us in school.
I remember that day in science class when Miss Lippy was replaced by a government agent with dark sunglasses and a tie and a suit.
I couldn't even say the character for that.
Just that time, only that day, in order to teach us that there was an inner core. I remember that day. Makes perfect sense.
I mean, he was totally dressed up as an Men in Black. He came in with a little outfit and the tie. I totally didn't understand why he had the sunglasses on the entire time. I'm sorry. Let's go.
I was just going to point out that it seems very reasonable to call the thing at the center of an object the core, because that's what the word core means.
No, that's totally fine. But, what the government told you.
The government has mandated no logic here.
Oh, yeah, the government. Oh, this is Thomas.
Solar system are formed hollow and contain an inner sun instead of a molten iron core. A series of astronomers over
It's like if he says it over and over and over again, it will somehow become correct.
That's a huge boat. Look at the size of that boat, you guys.
Course of hundreds of years have reported dashing light going out of Mars' poles. In 1846, Green saw 2 spots of white at the pole of Mars. 50 years later, in 1894, Professor Lowell was watching Mars through a telescope in his observatory and suddenly saw 2 points of light flash out from the middle of the polar cap. They were dazzling bright. The lights shone for a few minutes and then disappeared. According to Gardner, in his book Thoughts on Inner Earth, this was due to a
Pixar GTFO. No vid, no did.
Central sun of Mars dispersing gas through the polar openings. The gas forming in the middle of the hollow planet that we mentioned earlier can apparently turn into a proto-sun. Similar bright lights have been observed coming from the polar region of Venus, and during a transit of Mercury across the sun, the planet, while black on the side towards us, was observed to emit a bright light comparable to the light of our sun coming from its black disk.
That seems like something that might have happened once, but I bet there's an interesting explanation for it if it did happen. It also seems like it might not have happened. And it's certainly not shown in this picture because these are cities. And this is like a lightning storm or something. This is Earth.
Our conclusion.
This is a really cool picture, though.
That these 3 planets are all hollow.
Again, that is a hurricane.
and have large polar openings, misnamed polar caps, of ice and snow. If Mars is hollow and contains an
Oh, wow, I think we did get our answer. Mars is hollow.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a question that he is consistent on this. All of the rotating objects in the solar system he believes have a polar opening. He might be about to say that, or he says
that
it
would make
later.
sense if if
Yes,
we're citing physics, and then obviously
Isn't the moon
all
tidally
planets would
locked?
be
And
hollow, or
he's
at least
still
the
saying
rocky
it's
ones,
hollow.
right? I'm sorry, what'd you say, Daedalus?
Isn't the moon tidally locked? And isn't he still saying it's hollow?
No, the moon is a goddamn spaceship.
These are facts.
in our sun, and Earth is structured in a similar way. Why has this been hidden from the general public for so long? Let's start with this. If I tell you that there is a place on Earth where the most powerful countries never fought over power and territory, and where they peacefully agreed to never build anything and never claim the land for themselves, would you believe it?
Yeah, because it's cold as hell down there.
If they have, then we need to attack them immediately because they wouldn't be expecting it.
What?
Hey, do you have a polar openings bingo?
That's a good idea.
I'm talking about Antarctica. On December 1st, 1959, in Washington, the Antarctica Treaty was signed between USA, USSR, UK, Japan, France, Belgium, and 6 other countries. The treaty forbids all military actions, testing of weapons, and territorial claims, making it the only place on Earth that is not claimed by any country. Pair this with a no-fly, no expedition,
That's
no
not
access
true.
zone.
That's not true.
There's multiple claims that it's not recognized. We also have a military base there, a research base there.
Yeah, those aren't claimed though. Those are like, joint things.
Yes,
like,
it's a military base to facilitate the research base, but and the supplies for the
In case
research base.
aliens want to invade and destroy the research base, why is the military base there?
Also, I have it on good authority that the city of Atlantis was in Antarctica, and the ancient weapon that we used to defend from the Gua'uld is there too.
No, I thought that Antarctica is Atlantis, and they put it under a bunch of ice to diffuse the knowledge from getting out because Illuminati.
That might be it. You never know with these Stargate types.
So yeah, we got all these countries, 3 of which make no geographic sense. That being the UK, France, and Norway.
When does the United Kingdom need geographic sense to occur before they claim someone's territory?
When they stopped being the most powerful nation on the planet and mine did. That's when.
Yeah, Argentina, though, once touched the UK's collection of rocks and they decided to sail down there and attack. So,
That's fair.
It doesn't take much.
Whoops, sorry.
What are you doing?
I messed up?
You're just ruining the show.
Yeah, I do my best.
That Antarctica is.
Doorknob Head wants to understand what the pie chart meant in the Wikipedia thingy.
Oh, okay. So these are the claims of the various countries. So can I just? So, Argentina claims this chunk of it. Australia claims this chunk of Antarctica. What? Norway, for reasons completely past an understanding, claims this chunk, and so on and so forth. Right. So this chunk is not claimed. So I think that you can probably plausibly say that this chunk of land has not really been with any kind of seriousness, claimed by anybody. But the thing is, none of these claims are acknowledged by anybody else. I think literally this overlap here where it shows is it's showing how they overlap. It's not a thing. But they claim this. They don't claim this because probably this is in the middle of. Yeah, that's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. There's nobody anywhere near it.
This is totally not Antarctica. It's the ice wall.
Indeed.
Is it keeping out the the wildlings.
Yeah.
Oh, and Viclet, just FYI, you can fucking cuss. We don't give a goddamn what you say. However, if you get caught by the YouTube, you're not allowed to string cuss words together, apparently, because the algorithm doesn't like it, and it'll catch you. So if it gets past the algorithm and it's not a slur, okay, then you can say it. If it doesn't get past the algorithm and it is a slur, you're banned for life. That's the rules.
Yeah. Well, if it doesn't get past the algorithm, then I think they take care of it for us.
Yeah, the algorithm gets past. Most slurs, I think, do get caught by the algorithm, in which case we never see it and we don't know how to ban your slur. But I would just say, as a good rule with them, no slurs. Just assume that you're as good as everybody else here. And you're totally allowed to argue with other people in the chat. I'll only love you more for it. Everybody else, on the other hand, will hate me, and they'll DM me and be like, "Why do you let Blessed Be He come around? It bothers me," and I don't know. It amuses me. Tangent over.
No access zone that Antarctica is, this becomes a big red flag. There's something going on there if numerous governments are forbidding us from going. But what can be so important there?
It's fucking cold. That's why.
Well, you can go.
You can go. They have what do you call it? Those carnival cruises, which it's not a carnival cruise, but those pleasure cruises, they have them and they go down there. And
isn't that where I go when I beat a Japanese whaler
on the ice wall?
Yeah.
You can also talk to scientists who've been there and have published their work about what they've seen and what they went through. FYI, scientists love talking about their work. You can email them; they will talk to you. They think it's fun.
Landon
historians
has been
too,
there
by the
multiple
way.
times. The South Pole too, not just Antarctica. He's been to the South Pole base multiple times. It's
cool.
Yeah.
Thousands of examples and software that you can check, where you will find the territory over the poles to be stretched and photoshopped to conceal something. When in reality there are many official satellite images dating back to as early as 1968, and they
I don't know what this is, but it's not a giant hole in the South Pole.
It's a giant hole in the South Pole. Like, what do you mean you don't know what it is?
Why are there roads? Why is there a grid?
No, I think that is the grid. No, because there's no roads. You need aliens to help you go into the inner Earth, which is right there. We are all gazing upon it.
Well, if there's a star down there, why don't I see it, Maya?
Yeah, why isn't there light?
Oh, because, well, it's not a photograph. It's an artist rendition. They have to hide it because, the artist didn't know it was in there. So, unknown. It's dark energy, dark matter, dark earth. Yeah.
Okay, then.
Show us an obvious anomaly. According to all mythologies around the world, there's a city or place underground inhabited by advanced civilizations. In Hindu, it's Nagas. In Tibet, it's Shambhala. In Greek, it's Hades. And in North American culture, there are many beings ranging from gods to demons living deep underground. But we have a more solid proof than myths and legends. There are dozens of maps dating back to the...
Then why are you bringing up the myths and legends, man?
Yeah, does underground mean in the earth?
No, most of those myths and legends, I'm actually familiar with a lot of these for reasons. But most of those myths and legends refer to creatures living in cave systems.
Right.
So take a look at Appalachia, North American indigenous culture. So they have a lot of stories about little green people who live in caves. And we have contemporary accounts of people who claim to see these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow my channel much, you know that one of my my guilty pleasures is paranormal accounts.
Follow his channel. Yeah.
And we have stories of creatures living underground. In fact, on Amazon Prime, and I highly recommend it because it's a fascinating paranormal documentary. It's long. It's 16 episodes long. It's called Hellier, which builds off of the Hopkinsville Goblin story. It's these legends are very old, but they're not about like people living in a hollow earth. They're like cave dwellers.
Yeah, actually, yeah. There's a lot of legends with cave dwellers. There's actually a lot of underground cities.
Yes,
That
out
are
west, out here where I live, there are stories. There's a historian. I'm going to have him on in a couple weeks,
Mhm,
who does pre-Columbian contact, pre-Columbian Native American history.
mhm.
They have stories out here out west of a civilization that was in cave cities, that warred with the surface. Like, there's a lot of cool stories. None of them are about Hollow Earth, though.
Right, because that's ridiculous. One. Also, um, there's a lot of stories of underground dwellers, like a lot.
Yes.
Um, Even like with Egypt, connected to the Sphinx and the pyramids and all that, it's like there's like reptilian stories of them like living in these cave systems that go all over the world, and which of course, is how the reptilians communicated with different countries about how to build things in a triangle because
Yeah,
reasons.
the other one, like like the underground dwellers, is kind of part of no-
A lot of folklore.
the non-canonical books of the Bible, and the
Huh. Okay. I thought I would find some on Yeti, but no. Apparently, and I don't know if you know this, they are dimension shifting time travelers or something. So they don't actually live underground. We've decided that they're dimension jumpers.
who the
Uh, Yeti,
that,
Bigfoot,
oh yeah, yeah,
abominable snowmen, all this,
that's
all
some
that,
Aleister Crowley. That's some Aleister Crowley business right there.
probably. Weasel, are you still there?
1500.
I am sorry. I didn't want to interrupt your.
Look, I just didn't want to leave anything off the table.
I never bring anything to the table, Maya. That's why
I
I'm
tell
wearing
people
a.
this.
You brought two nipples today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's up with that. Normally we think our audience is the best, but our audience might be the worst.
Depends on your
Which
perspective, I
depict
guess.
Antarctica.
Where did Maya go?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Damn it, Weasel. Your internet is so bad it's fucking with my internet.
Well done, Weasel. Well done.
While in reality, we discovered the continent way later in 1820. People often speculate these maps were influenced by ancient cartography, citing the
Old maps were influenced by old cartography? I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
Are you that shocked?
No. Not that shocked.
creator of this map.
In the midst of the four countries is a whirlpool into which there empty these four indrawing seas which divide the north. And the
I mean, could you do the bare minimum and at least like at the bottom do like a citation of who this is? This quote comes from... Did he say where the quote comes from?
Speculate these maps were influenced by ancient cartography,
1820.
citing the creator of this map.
in the midst of the four
Cartographers?
countries
The creator of this map. Who is that? Which map? The map that's in the background? What is happening right now?
The ancient cartographers wrote it.
Maybe he'll put it in. This sounds like Ignatius Donnelly, though. This sounds.
Yeah, that's
This
true.
might be Ignatius Donnelly.
Okay, we'll go with
is
that.
a whirl
If yo chat, if it's Ignatius Donnelly, that's a hardcore call out. Okay.
God damn it.
whirlpool into which there empty these four indrawing seas which divide the north. And the water rushes around and descends into the earth, just as of when we're pouring it through a filter funnel. It is 4 degrees wide on every side of the pole.
Is there a way to check if this whirlpool exists when all of this
What whirlpool?
Who said it?
Where? Right? Nobody said it, and he didn't even align the damn text to the damn lines on the fake page.
It is 4 degrees wide on every side of the pole.
Which 4 countries?
Is there a way to check if this whirlpool exists when all
You are way ahead of yourself, buddy. What whirlpool where?
Yeah, I was just like,
It's from pulling the plug. And it goes on the opposite end at the other pole, obviously.
Obviously.
We've lost Maya. She's frozen in time. There we go.
Yeah, I guess so.
All of this is censored? Actually, I can think of a few ways, so let's check it out right now. But let's take a look at the quality of the censorship first. This is the South Pole on Google Earth. The guys didn't even try to cover it up properly. Why don't we check the winds? If there is a giant hole there, shouldn't the winds just dive into it, like in a whirlpool? And if we check how...
No, I do not think that the winds are going to just go into a whirlpool. I don't know what this is. I don't know where it's from. It looks like a cool place though. The
winds behave around that area. We can clearly see that a whirlwind is sucked down into something.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, hurricanes and stuff exist. But like you can't have it all just, I mean, unless it's just going into the planet, which is, I suppose, what this guy thinks. So
something big, like a polar opening. But
yeah, I hate this guy.
That is, we're not supposed to know because it's censored on every single map or application that exists. And we're talking about the true north here, not the magnetic north.
I thought we were talking about the South Pole. I guess we're talking about both?
poles. Yeah, both the poles are hollow because it would have to be, right? Because you have to have like two hole, like there's a hole going through the Earth, so it would go through both
poles. It could be
poles.
like a vase.
There's reasons.
The Earth could be vase shaped.
It could, but why? You know,
because reasons, Maya.
Yeah, I guess for reasons.
Maybe the Earth is an inverted Mobius strip.
But he already said like the poles, the equator is flat, so could be a true vase. Maybe.
The Earth is a jack-o'-lantern.
Magnetic north and true north are not aligned. That's true.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I mean, it is if you're standing there, they are. Just saying.
Those of you who've been to the magnetic north, you won't find anything of interest there aside from ice. The location I showed on the wind map is what we're looking for. Depending on how accurate this map is, the true north is located at least 400 miles away from the magnetic north. And it's also no coincidence that the true south pole lies in the jurisdiction of the USA. The most powerful...
What? Wait, what?
You just said nobody had jurisdiction! Wait, no!
What?
It's also no coincidence that the true South Pole lies in the jurisdiction of the USA.
Also, did you guys notice how there was a cut and he's like they substituted some audio for a couple words there?
Yeah.
It's no coincidence.
Maybe it wasn't like audible or I don't know.
It was
magnetic north. And it's also no coincidence that the true South Pole lies in the jurisdiction of the USA.
Right. Yeah, the true South Pole is very, very different audio quality there.
Yeah. Coincidence? I mean, probably.
I think he just, he has a really thick accent. He's probably just trying to make sure that he would, given him the benefit of the doubt, that he was trying
those 3 words, and those 3 words alone, he was like, I got to make sure everyone knows this one.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just so unbearable that somebody else was just like, what the fuck are you saying there? And he was just like, all right, I'll say something over it. I don't know.
Actually, the original dialogue was, I'm looking for moose and squirrel.
I personally don't find him difficult to understand, but
nor do I, but
the captions are not helping actually this time. We're looking for Howard Earth, Mr.
Howard Earth.
I thought it was Halal Earth.
It was
Halal Earth,
but we've evolved.
Whole country at the time of signing the treaty, the most interesting real story.
Sorry, I think I was cutting out for a moment.
Oh, so Pandora's Unboxing says at least they've acknowledged the existence of a South Pole, so there's half a step above flirfs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you take too many steps forward about flirfs, you're going to fall off.
They're hoping to do an experiment to go to the South Pole.
Meeting with advanced civilization living underground and coming back to tell the story is the one of Admiral Byrd. Even if you've heard this one before, stick for it because we're going to reveal some details. But there's other military personnel that has reported a large opening at the pole like this pilot.
During one of these travels, I sat adjacent to one of these pilots.
So this is a guy with a story about this one time when he did a thing and this guy told him a thing.
This one time at band camp, aliens came and took me and they probed my ass. It's a true story.
I'm pretty sure that was your counselor.
I then asked him, so when you fly these polar flights, do you fly directly over the North Pole? And he then all of a sudden got defensive on me, and he said, well, wait, what are you asking me these questions for? He's looking around to see who else was paying attention. And I said, it's a very interesting subject to me, and I'm just curious. He said, look, you cannot, when pilots fly northern polar flights, they cannot fly directly over the North Pole. There is no North Pole. You fly around the pole. Why do you fly around the pole? Because there's a big frickin' hole up there. You cannot fly over the hole.
So
let's not discount the fact that that pilot was fucking with him.
I think we should ask. We should ask Chad. We got to do a poll. What did that story never happen, or it did happen and the pilot was messing with him, or it did happen and there's a giant hole? Something like that. Okay, because, you know, we like doing a poll.
Ah, yes, the poll. And then earlier we had the strip poll.
We did. So, I mean, we understand, like, the chat's morals now. So there's a giant hole, and pilot was fucking with him?
Well, the other thing is, like, if navigational data becomes problematic at the poles, which we know it does, it would behoove you not to be there as a pilot in a plane.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so normally, if I were any other streamer here, I would put a tapioca weasel
I was about to say.
But fuck you. Because, like, it always fucks up the everybody always chooses tapioca weasel and they never answer the questions.
That's why you have to be careful about how you introduce the tapioca weasel option. This is how you rig your polls, people. Just saying.
Yeah, the tapioca weasel is totally a dildo in the ass, and I'm never using it again. Oh, hi there, Daedalus. I don't know if you've been here before.
The 26th of August 1946, Admiral Byrd.
I was just using both my YouTube accounts to mess up the poll. That's all.
I love it.
I approve of this behavior. I may or may not
100%.
Have many alts.
Received the task with the secret mission to explore the North with 25 airplanes and 13 ships. Admiral Richard E. Byrd was the highest decorated and accomplished naval officer in the U.S. Army at the time. He was a real
That's an interesting thing to be, the most accomplished naval officer in the Army.
Yeah. I feel like you have to be, like, the person on the Joint Chiefs of Staff then, right?
No, not even then. You can switch branches, but then you become the officer of the branch you switched into.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the most senior officer of any given branch, I think, is the general or admiral or whoever.
It is. They are sitting as the chairman of that particular branch. Chairman.
Yeah, on the Joint Chiefs. Yeah, like,
yes.
So, I mean, if accomplished doesn't have to mean that. It could mean other things. Like most of those people, I don't know if it's typical for somebody on the Joint Chiefs to like have a Medal of Honor, for example. I'd imagine that's
pretty
kind of rare. Yeah.
Yes. Well, here's actually, you know what the hardest job in the Pentagon is? Sidebar. The hardest job in the Pentagon is the headquarters company of the Army, and I'm sure there are for the other branches. This is a soldier who is put in command, administrative command of every single individual American soldier in the Pentagon at one time out of Fort Myer. And person is a relatively low rank. They're a captain in the Army, 03, and they have to administer and sometimes issue out discipline to colonels and generals. It's the worst job I could imagine.
Yeah. It's like a logistics role, and they're low ranked, and they got to like get all the high ranking people that don't like necessarily agree with each other to like let them do the logistics, which requires people to agree with each other.
Yes.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. I don't know about worst job.
It gets worse too. It's not a 1-year job like most military jobs. It's a year and a half.
Why?
Well,
probably because institutional memory is really important there.
Also, if you're going to drive someone insane, you might as well drive them really insane.
Terrible.
2 doggies. Do I have a second dog? What? No, it's only one. Okay. Don't do that to me, guys.
He was a real national hero, awarded with the highest order and a spotless track record. He is known as the greatest explorer of the poles to have ever lived, and after several months of polar exploration, in 1947, the Admiral led the Navy task force to embark on an expedition beyond the magnetic North Pole.
We're into the Admiral Byrd part. Did we want to...
Yeah. So Admiral Byrd is a real person, first of all, Admiral Richard Byrd, and he is a fairly prolific explorer of the poles. He, for instance, flew over I forget which, I think it was the North Pole in 1920s. And yes, after the war, in 1946, 1947, he led a Navy task force to explore the Antarctic region.
Cool.
This is... As far as history is concerned, it came back without a hitch.
All right.
However, there is a particular passage, and I had to go look it up out of the report that he mentioned. That is
that when he flew into the inner Earth with the assistance of the aliens?
Well, it does involve aliens, yes. Anyway.
Oh, cool.
Was it this part?
Admiral Richard E. Byrd warned that the United States should adopt measures of protection against the possibility of an invasion of the country by hostile planes coming from the polar regions. The Admiral explained he was not trying to scare anyone, but the cruel reality is that in the case of a new war, the United States could be attacked by planes flying over one or both poles. This has been taken by people to believe that there is some kind of secret thing in the North or South Pole. And what this is depends on them. But what it really is talking about is the advancements they were making at flight at the time was going to make it possible for planes to fly relatively casually over the Arctic regions to, for instance, bomb the United States. The Soviets had stolen a B-29 and remanufactured it down to the Boeing parts and the pedals as part of their nuclear program. Like, he's talking about the advancements of aviation. He's not talking about aliens, but it's used by these people to talk about inner sphere people.
Mm-hmm. Like the Illuminati.
Exactly.
Or the Naga, or exactly, yes.
The Garthians.
How much, like, how accurately do we know about all of what this, you know what, I don't even want to get into the whole, Admiral Byrd is weird.
A lot of the stories that came up around Admiral Byrd, I don't think aren't from Admiral Byrd itself. It's from people manufacturing things
even
around
if
him.
they are from him, I feel like they might be jokes.
Maybe,
It's
like
exactly the
so.
sort of
For
thing I would
example,
do.
going back to my love of paranormal stories, there is the YouTube channel Bedtime Stories. One of them has a series of things on Third Reich mysteries. And one of them brings up Admiral Byrd's Operation High Jump, and it says, yeah, they were attacked by flying saucers that were allied with the Nazis in Antarctica. Like, people have weird ass stories about Admiral Byrd.
A little bit. So yeah, which is this where he his quote unquote diary was supposedly sold and published and detailing. And it's funny, like if you talk to people who understand what admirals journals actually look like, will say that, this doesn't make any sense. There's no coordinates, there's no dates, there's, it just.
Yeah, it's not like it's like a logbook. It's like every episode of Star Trek, you open up Stardate, blah 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 blah. This is where we are. This is what we're doing. It's the same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They keep records for the purpose of, like, the task force, for the purpose of, like, if you have to come before a board of inquiry, they're going to want to know what happened, when, and where. You better have those records done. But like it serves as a set of records. Military record keeping is exacting. It's formatted. It uses acronyms. It has, like, it's not just some dude scribbling things down.
Right. Which is kind of what you have in Admiral Byrd's diary. And it's just not, it's more the format of someone who is trying to sell a good book and not necessarily military format. So, which, I don't knock the hustle, but perhaps taking it at face value isn't
Unwise proposition.
there you go. Yeah, it would be a advice proposition. It's meant to entertain, not to inform.
Indeed. So we're just gonna skip the Admiral Byrd thing.
All right.
Maybe because we're scared, and we're shills for them, or maybe because it's a whole chunk that there's no chance of us getting through the rest of this video anyway. But
the place beyond the poles is not the first, nor just the last. Vikings believed in Asgard, the land beyond the ice. And eerily enough, then there.
Sorry, I heard Asgard and I was like, oh, he believed in Asgard. Like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of pagans who believe in Asgard. I don't know that it's a physical, that it's ever been. I think it's an afterlife thing. Well, right?
Have you never watched the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Maya?
I've been told that Marvel isn't parallel with canon. And there is Marvel Thor and Odin, and then there's pagan Thor and Odin, and I'm not sure that those are.
And then there's science Thor and Odin. Okay, just gonna leave that out there.
Okay.
The ground continent is called Agartha across many cultures, which is quite close to Asgard. By the way, did you know that birds from several northern and southern countries fly toward the poles and not toward the equator? Scientists have been baffled for years. Researchers in September.
What? To get to the poles, they'd have to cross an equator. The equator's there. It's not going anywhere. No one stole it.
But, big science wants you to think that they're trying to fly towards the equator, and they're not. They're trying to fly towards the poles. You may know this from this guy saying it right now.
I mean, why do we do this? Like, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Because there are people who believe it.
There are. I don't like. They should have an inner dialogue with themselves.
City Raptor. Asgard isn't a place; it's the people. Famous last words right before Thanos arrived.
Fair. By the way, how did the whole poll go?
Oh, the pole.
The
28.
poll
The whole pole. The
poll
pole.
the whole poll.
Hey, y'all.
There we go.
The pilot
There's a
was
giant
fucking
hole,
with him.
7%.
Took over half of the chat.
I want to thank the like 2 or 3 people who helped me pump up those numbers for giant hole.
Giant hole. It's totally a giant hole.
2024. Not anymore.
Hey, that's as good as voting scheme as anyone. Vote for the giant money hole.
It's politics. They're all giant money holes.
Glory hole for the win.
These birds by putting GPS bracelets on them, but as soon as they pass the poles, the signals are completely lost. Why would these birds fly toward the cold unless there is a warm land beyond?
Why indeed?
I
don't know why birds would fly if it weren't for the inner earth. It just makes no sense to me at all.
They fly and then they get somewhere and then the signal is lost. Like,
I wonder what could possibly happen.
Like the bird died. I'm just saying.
Or the battery ran out.
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot more sense. But I don't know. Like, they had the little solar thing on them, and everybody knows that those work really well at high latitudes.
Yeah, that's definitely how that works.
Yeah.
There's not a single location on Earth from where the path to a warmer land is through the poles, and it's shorter than the alternative. But there's also an allegedly true story of 2 people entering the North Pole's opening and years after, making it back through the South Pole on the opposite side of the planet. Many believe that the book, The Smokey God, tells a true story and not just a legend.
Do either of you know this book?
No.
Me neither. Bummer.
It's based on the journal of Olaf Jansen, who wrote it on his deathbed. I read this book.
I mean, man, this gives me so many ideas of funky things to do on my deathbed to mess with people.
And I'll summarize some of the most important things that match perfectly with everything else we heard so far. It tells the story of Olaf as a boy embarking with his father on a journey to sail beyond the ice, and after a horrible storm almost takes their lives, they find themselves in a green land with giant plants, extinct animals like mammoths, and dinosaurs in a civilization of giants. Olaf Jansen and his father spent 2 years living beneath the Earth's surface, among the...
Yo, this is awesome animation, just saying.
Animation.
This is Jurassic Park.
Okay.
They really do move in herds.
The inner world, at least 12 feet tall. His words, quote unquote.
Everything is huge. In addition to the giant people, apples and grapes are both larger than a man's head and as large as oranges. And if you can believe it, there are 9-foot-tall penguins living in the south.
If you can believe
the
it.
Father and son spent 2 years below the surface, learning the language of the giants and gathering knowledge about their lives. After 2 years of staying there, they decided to leave and come back home. They tried setting off to the north, where they had entered, but found the cold winds pushing them south. They stopped for supplies various times and explored other regions. Since they spoke the language, the local population was also always friendly. They traveled toward the south.
This sounds like a fiction novel.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing. Like, we're not interrupting because it's like, bro, you're just taking something in a way that it should not be taken.
I also remember reading this one book about this kid who lived under a cupboard and then became a wizard. Definitely a documentary.
Yeah.
After many months,
no other way to
return to the surface.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, collapsing icebergs trapped the travelers, and later found themselves at the mercy of ice shelves that were about to crumble over their heads. After the accident,
that feels like a misunderstanding of what an ice shelf is. It's not a thing that extends over your head like a bookshelf if you were a book. It's a thing that, yeah,
runs under.
yeah. I mean, you
It
don't.
goes under, like
An ice shelf can't really fall on you unless you're under the water.
on the inner Earth. Maybe in the inner Earth, the ice shelves fall under.
Well, I still am unclear on which direction anything falls on the inner Earth.
Well, there's
So-
magnets involved, so they're probably falling back towards the Earth.
Yeah, they would be like that.
Olaf's father got left stranded on top of a floating iceberg and lost his life. Olaf barely survived because after a few hours, a passing fishing vessel saved him. Though his respite was very short-lived, because after sharing his story with the ship's captain, they locked him to be examined by their onboard physician.
I don't blame them. If this was his story,
When he returned home, people considered him insane and placed him in a madhouse for about 28 years. An unfortunate end to an otherwise extraordinary.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it sort of like they probably didn't do it for this reason. They probably did it for correlated reasons. Like, people, if you believe a wacky crazy thing about like the past, but you otherwise comport yourself as a normal individual, you know, you don't show up on streams and do like weird strip teases and wear a cape backwards. Like, if you do that, and you're liable to get locked up, like this guy, right?
Tale.
There's a
If
reason.
we're examining stories, the most famous book depicting the Howard is Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth. Jules Verne is famous for predicting many things as early as 1895. He predicted the creation of submarines, skyscrapers, the internet, the moon landing, and even modern-day cell phones, all of which were unthinkable 130 years ago.
They weren't unthinkable. The moon's
30
up
years
there.
ago, they were not unthinkable. No.
If they were being
Well,
predicted by Jules Verne, then they weren't unthinkable now, were they, son?
Yeah, and also, like, the moon is a thing up there. You can imagine people walking on the thing that you see.
Wait, that's
right?
what that big gray thing is? Never knew.
Submarines, like, there's water, and you can imagine
Submarines were
being
being
under
deployed
the
in the
water.
1860s. Like, submarines were being deployed for military activities in the 1860s. Like, come on.
Yeah, that too.
No, but 30 years ago, no one ever thought about it.
It's like us. It's like if people were to dig up our remains and be like, oh my gosh, look at this thing they had called Star Trek where they talk about faster than light travel. Clearly they had it back then. And it's like, no, it's just kind of an obvious
No, it's
thing.
Galaxy
We're not
Quest, right?
dumb.
It's Galaxy Quest. It's, the historical documents.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
Galaxy Quest, the greatest.
Ago. In Jules Verne's story, a wild professor and his nephew decode a message and venture into the unknown. They go through a cavern in Iceland. The two, with the help of a local guide, travel into uncharted darkness. For weeks they walk the cavern. So long their monthly supplies are almost over, but after a month passed, they come out of the cave and they see a large ocean ahead. The professor initially thinks of it as England, and that they somehow passed below the sea and traveled.
I don't know. What is this footage that we're even watching?
The rejected cut of The Mummy, I think. The 1998 classic, The Mummy,
it
with
must
Brendan
be Journey
Fraser
to
and Rachel
the
Weisz.
Earth. It's that. Okay.
No. I like my
No.
theory better.
Yeah. He's just trying to get demonetized. That's all that's happening. I mean, I don't know. I tried pretty hard to get us demonetized already in the stream, so, who knows what'll
I'm
take.
surprised YouTube hasn't got you yet.
I mean, I'm very lucky.
The professor initially thinks of it as England, and that they somehow passed below the sea and traveled south. This was not the case. They were at the other side, in the inner world, where 10-feet mushrooms adorned the green coasts. They devised a raft to cross across the sea. And
So right now we're just literally listening to him talk about Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne, as though it is necessarily prophetic. And I want to know, where is the cutoff? How far back do you have to go for your words to be given the air of historical authority that is so often granted
by Jules Verne novels.
By people like this to those novels. Yes, exactly.
Well, it's whenever they need to get to their point of inner sun gas thing.
Yeah, that, definitely that. And also, like, I totally missed this, which is like 15 minutes ago, from Jester, Lord of Fools. I'm here. I am here already. My forms include squirrel, moose, duck, and a few others. I don't want to be dragged into this, though, so cease and desist.
Too late.
Yeah, I mean, you're already here. Yeah, so that's on you.
Hey, Jester. Sorry I missed you.
To survive, they relied on catching extinct species of fish that none of them had ever seen before aside from in schoolbooks and encyclopedias. Now, more than 100 years later, many believe this story to be true. Stories often get decorated, but physics and calculations rarely lie. If the whole
A lie is not even a term that applies here. Like,
Earth is solid and contains a crust, mantle, outer and inner core, and gravity works like NASA suggests, then constant earthquakes of large magnitude would happen. Simply because
They do.
what do you mean by large magnitude? Because, like, if you put them in terms of energy, they really do. The Earth is always moving. It's a big issue, both in terms of a lot of things. Gravity gradient noise is a huge problem for gravitational wave detectors, for example. It's really annoying because the Earth is really noisy.
I feel the earth move under my feet. Sorry, I'll stop.
Usually he's the one singing.
I have a great singing voice.
I do not.
I mean, your singing voice is actually better than his.
It might not be a high bar.
I mean, I'm very, yeah.
core is over 4,000 degrees hot, and there are no abundant elements on Earth to endure this temperature, aside from air. The gravity would
Wait, no. If you ignited air to 4,000 degrees, you won't have air anymore.
No, yeah, there's a lot.
It would be like plasma.
Yes.
Like
4,000 degrees what, also?
You would have a problem.
Oh.
Yeah, this is hard to follow. But that's because it's physics, and science is under no obligation to make sense to you.
It really, genuinely is not, okay? I wish it was. Desperately.
I don't know if this magnet stops working, we might all float away.
I am going to ban you.
constantly shrink and expand this outer core outwards toward the crust, leaving large air pockets below it, leading to collapse.
No, earthquakes do not just suddenly cause ginormous air pockets in the middle of the Earth.
Wait, unless the Earth is in a microwave and it's a hot pocket.
What? I mean, microwaves have a skin depth. They only work on things that are so thick, and you're not going to get any microwave action going on. It's yeah. But I mean, neutrinos, right? Yeah.
A solid Earth with an inner core that hot is physically impossible. You can prove this with the depth of Earth.
It's literally not. It's literally the only thing that is possible.
The deepest earthquakes happen at a depth of 700 kilometers, which coincides exactly with the distance all stories say the path length.
How do you know? How do you know that that earthquakes go down to 700 kilometers? Where are you getting that number? You're getting that number from people who would be speechless at the rest of your proposal. Okay?
From the surface of the Earth to the inner cavity. Yes. it's roughly 800 kilometers. We have 800 kilometers of crust confirmed by earthquake depth. Then everything
I
else
think
is
Richmond Dice has a really good explanation, which is because.
I mean, I suppose I hadn't thought of that.
Well, I mean,
speculation. Most likely there is a vast open space, and then we have an inner sun. We can confirm the existence of the inner sun by
because earthquakes go down this far.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it's hollow beyond that, and there's an inner sun. Why are you like this? Why are you like? We have a "Why are you like this" emoji chat.
Are you familiar with what a fault is? Because this is what a fault is tier logic right here.
I do love me some lava cake. Therefore, Hollow Earth.
Indeed.
That gets me.
double-checking some of Euler's calculations. According to him, the inner sun had a 600-mile diameter. This approximate number is also 100% confirmed by seismology.
100?
But it's the same seismology you just rejected to get to the inner sun.
I don't know whose seismology he's accepting. I think...
Could he be making up his own?
Like, that would require a lot of creativity, though.
Since the accepted radius of the inner core is 600 miles.
I'm just saying.
We can easily check if life inside the Earth can exist with a small sun with this size inside it. Currently, Earth receives a very small portion of the sun's power due to the distance between the two objects.
Nobody thinks that the inner core is powered by the sun. Okay, like
what? I mean, but he does. So it's not nobody. Are you calling him a nobody doctor?
Yes.
Richard Dice for $2 says, "How long does it take for tapioca to recover?"
I mean, from what?
Look, I mean, the statement is self-explanatory. He spent a whole $2. You got to answer it.
Well, once neurons die, they don't come back. Okay, so, like, never is the answer. The answer is never.
Travels primarily in straight lines. This doesn't account for the reflection by the atmosphere, clouds, and other factors like refraction. After some simple calculation.
Again, nobody thinks that the inner Earth is hot because of the effect of the sun. That is obviously not the case.
We can easily deduce what an internal sun with dimensions of 600-mile diameter and a temperature of 50 to 100 degrees.
How do you have a sun like that? What is it made out of? Because solar fusion, it requires hot, dense, high pressure situations. You can't get that pressure without a massive amount of crap pushing in on you because of gravity.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah, and like so it's not gonna be fusing.
Negative 9.8 meters per second squared. Gravity.
Indeed.
Would produce in terms of heat radiation or power output. We chose 5200 degrees because this is the scientifically agreed upon number for the temperature of the Earth's supposed core. And we suspect instead...
I have no idea if that's true or not.
Wait, what part?
It's an inner star.
It's
power output. We chose 5200 degrees.
5200 degrees, that this is the temperature. It seems plausible. I don't know.
Apparently that is the answer.
For the temperature of the sun and the inner Earth?
For the temperature of the Earth's core, which he is apparently substituting for the temperature of the inner sun.
Which, that's not at all right for the temperature of the inner sun. It's actually higher than the temperature of the photosphere of the sun.
How hot is the inner sun?
It's like 20 million degrees or something.
That
It's
seems
Well, no,
hot.
wait. We're talking about the inner sun, not the inner sun. You get the picture.
Yeah. I mean the real one, the one that exists.
Yes.
Took him a minute.
I'm not a smart weasel. No, you're not allowed. You have to run the left leg. Sorry.
Is because this is the scientifically agreed upon number for the temperature of the Earth's supposed core. And we suspect instead it's an inner star with the same temperature.
Real
We can
quick.
calculate the power output.
Question for Daedalus.
What do I specialize in? I studied American military history. I do not specialize in science. Everything you've heard me say from science is just me guessing as best I can and half remembering from high school.
Same.
Literally 100% of the time, you are more accurate than the people that we are covering. Literally without error.
Once again, not a high bar.
That's their fault.
Professor Park says the core temp is about 15 million Kelvin.
See, I was within 25-30%. I take that as a win for something like that, where it's really about orders of magnitude, I think. Whoops.
Output of a star if we use a formula for star power output called the Stefan-Boltzmann law, which uses the surface area of the star and its temperature. The power output of the inner star, the sun is calculated. This means
none of that matters because you don't explain how the star works, bro. Where are you getting?
This is 62% more than the supposed inner sun's power that we receive. So the internal sun, with dimensions of just 600 miles, would produce 62% less energy than the outer sun's power that reaches Earth.
Because it's fake, and none of this is real.
Although that other 48% is pretty impressive when you consider it's fake.
So Daryl Frost has come to do what he does.
That's probably true. I don't know what the error bars are on that are. It's not a million Kelvin, and it's not 1,000 Kelvin, and like it's almost I don't know enough about the other physics at work to say, but
I'm willing to venture it's less than zero. It's not a number that equals zero. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Yeah.
But let's check how much bigger the outer atmosphere is, and this will give us a good idea of how hot the inner Earth will be. The atmosphere we have here on the outer...
There's no reason to suggest that those two numbers would be particularly correlated. He's talking about the temperature of like the thermosphere, which is a very, very dilute part of the atmosphere, which because it's so high up and gets all this like radiation, is actually really hot. But if you were out there, you wouldn't really feel it because mostly you would just be like, oh my gosh, there's no air.
It says that Richmond, I'm going to stop calling you Richard, one day. Might not be this year, but one day, I swear. Richmond says 52% of the energy would explode the Earth.
I think what they mean is 52% of the energy that we receive from the sun. So like if you look at the solid angle that we take up from the sun, which is quite small, we get a lot of energy from the sun. If you have direct sunlight, it's like 1.4 kilowatts per square meter. Mm-hmm. But they don't mean 52% of the sun's total energy. They mean of the amount that they get, I think.
Doorknob Head says 1 million billion trillion Kelvin.
Sounds good to me.
I think you run into a more fundamental physics issues there.
That sounds like your department, not mine.
I mean, that's not even my department. I'm not a theoretical fundamental physicist. I work in a lab. I was in the lab today, and Maya got really mad at me about it. She was all up in my business. I was not all up in your business. I was mad that you weren't all up in our business, to be fair. I don't mess with your guys' business.
concentrated at the bottom 100 kilometers and gets less denser the higher up you go. If we calculate the volume of the atmosphere around the Earth for these 100 kilometers, we get volume equals thickness times surface area, which is
we know how
51 billion
volume
cubic
works.
kilometers. If we do the same about the inner Earth, we will have to decrease the
That's not even how volume works. Oh my gosh, you gotta integrate that shit.
thickness of the atmosphere proportionally.
But it's not a proportion, though. Because you just pointed out why it's not a proportion. He did, rather, with his numbers.
Yeah. None of this makes any sense.
If the atmospheric composition remains the same. Since the inner radius is more by 800 kilometers the crust that we have, the same proportion should be removed from the atmosphere thickness as well. Using the same formula, we get 26 billion cubic kilometers in terms of
we know how... I know how big spheres are, bro.
Size, the inner Earth's atmosphere is just 47% smaller than the outer world's atmosphere.
What's your point?
This means it will need just 50% of the energy to have the same average temperature or higher and better meteorological conditions. To sum up, the sun powers Earth with just a tiny fraction of its energy.
None of that made any coherent argument in support of your model. None of that explained.
The sun powers Earth, though. So, like, is it like how? Is it like it powered like an electric cord? Because like when I need to power something, I plug it into my socket.
Well, so the way it powers it really, Maya, is that when the solar energy is aligned with the spiritual vibrations of the host planet.
So like the Earth's chakra systems.
Exactly, the Earth's chakra system, which is fundamentally correlated.
When I wanted to be charged, I used to meditate into like the fifth dimensional Earth, and then like I would like my stress away, and then I could like not be stressed out when I came back down to the third dimension. Is that what the Earth does? Well, the sun does for the Earth.
So let me get into the geophysics of how the chakra Earth system works.
Oh, you know what? I would totally love to listen to this. But I have to refresh my drink. Daedalus, you got this, right?
Totally. We're ready. She's gone.
So
she's gone.
When the Earth is in view and it's happening during a high resonance transit period of the dipole moment of the Earth as it aligns with the solar wind and coronal mass ejections. What happens is that you get a projection onto a geometrically pixelated in the manner of sacred geometry, and that projects a pattern onto the Earth, which aligns and actually manifests as a quasi-periodic resonance system internal with how the inner sun works. In terms of it's how it all, what am I doing?
How does it affect the Earth's humors?
Holy shit!
How does it affect the Earth's humors?
Now, I tried, Maya. I did my best, okay, but I have to save this content for my book that I'm writing with Titan.
Yeah, that you should do that and press the play button.
I can't do it, Maya. Maya, we're not getting there.
No.
The inner sun powers Earth with 62% of the outer sun's equivalent energy that we receive, but it powers an atmosphere that is just 50% of the outer world's atmosphere in terms of size. After the calculations and weighing in the atmospheric differences, this amounts to a very small percentage of the sun's energy, but this is still a lot.
Of what are we talking about?
It's all relative to someone's cousin, I suppose.
No, okay, so Hollyhock would like to know if the sun's chakras are a passive form of energy. No, Hollyhock. They're a positive form of energy. That's how that works. See?
Yeah. They actively engage with the universal oneness that is around them.
The universal oneness. Yes, that thing there. Which is a positive energy. And
high frequency.
Obviously. The highest frequency. Yes, that. When Maya
it's
smiles.
just 2 times more than what
I
we're
love
actually
it.
getting on the
People love
surface.
my smile. It's beautiful.
In terms of
Daedalus,
thermal
you
energy
should
per
smile
square
now.
meter.
No.
What?
You want to keep your viewers, right?
No. Look at this smile. Look, he's
Yeah,
he's
you
so
just, it's like you
happy.
just smiled and then you realized you smiled and you were
I
like,
know.
oh no.
You're just like, God
It
damn
was
it.
very funny
My
to watch.
smile is infectious.
I just look like a crazy monkey person.
I know, right? Haha,
Peter,
made you smile.
Have in mind that the inner Earth will not cool down with the same speed, and it would cool down twice as slower due to the 24/7 uptime of the inner Sun. There is going to be no night there. This means that despite the inner Sun being smaller, the temperature there would be roughly 1.5 to 2 times higher than the average.
Elastic?
Just Alaska. There's
Oh, Alaska.
permanent sunlight and permanent dark.
The wrong A word. Antarctica. Say it with me now.
Antarctica.
You get the same thing.
Temperature of the surface of the Earth where we live. And the average temperature we have...
It wouldn't though, because it wouldn't radiate out fast. It would just bake and keep going. The reason that the Earth is not colder or not hotter or colder than it is because it's radiating a lot of energy away. Which is why the composition of the atmosphere, which determines how efficiently we radiate energy away, matters in terms of determining the overall temperature of the atmosphere. So, for example, if you have a lot of gases such as carbon dioxide, you don't radiate away as much, so your equilibrium temperature becomes higher. And this is how you get climate change.
On Earth, it's 13 degrees Celsius. If you multiply these numbers, we get 20 to 26 degrees Celsius. Or the safest bet would be the middle of this diapason, which is 23 degrees Celsius. The constant temperature of 23.5 degrees during all times of day.
Is that Avatar?
That makes total
This is
sense.
Avatar again. Yes.
This is just Avatar. Like,
why?
Because
why are we doing this? Why are we here? Why is he like this?
I don't know. I did like Avatar though, frankly.
It was a good movie. But you know, the thing about movies is that they're fiction. Movies are not documentaries. Somebody thought of shit in their head and told actors to say the shit in my head out loud. We're gonna record it, and then we're gonna make those people pay to watch it.
Fair.
All night, just 23 degrees Celsius day. If you enter this wonderland and you take a look at the inner Sun, the distance to it would be 3,100 miles, around 5,000 kilometers. For scale, the majority of our atmosphere is just 60 miles, or 100 kilometers. And the clouds you see at the maximum.
I don't know, Holly. I don't know why we're multiplying temperatures. None of it makes any sense. All of this is completely wrong.
Look, we have to multiply the temperatures to make the movie happen.
We have to make allowances for the plot.
Oh my god.
Maximum height of 6 miles. The inner Sun would be far beyond the end of the inner atmosphere, allowing for clouds and for life to flourish there. If you set foot in this place, you observe a sun pretty much the size of the moon in our night sky that we see. And because of the sheer scale of the Earth, everything would seem...
Why don't you just say
the sun hits your eye like a big piece of pie?
Piece of pie. That's some more.
Now I'm hungry.
Oh,
me too. Was that an echo or was that just both of us?
Great equalizer.
Inside a massive cold planet, you wouldn't really be able to tell if you're inside the planet or outside of it. Due to the never-ending day, vegetation would flourish, and perhaps because of the different distribution of elements in the air, different animals or perhaps extinct species like dinosaurs or mammoths would roam the inner Earth. I didn't create this video because I want to convince you that the Earth is hollow. Instead, I want to convince people to be open-minded and to never accept hypotheses like the molten core that have never been proven.
The molten core has never been proven?
The core is not actually molten, it's solid. The inner core.
Well,
you've opened your mind so far that it's fallen out, sir.
Into the inner core of the Earth, and it's very inhospitable down there.
Right down Robert Byrd's hole.
I like Daedalus. He's fine.
Hypothesis that the Earth is hollow is also not proven, but
that the Earth is hell. Just saying. I love.
Avery
can be
has
equally or
returned.
more valid than the one that we've accepted.
Beautiful.
My deepest dream is for people to be able to construct a hypothesis of their own and to make independent research based on facts, numbers, and calculations. Science is often used to manipulate the masses, just like media is.
I don't like it.
After all,
Doorknob
there's no
Head may have
science.
something here.
Corinium.
It's
Yep.
like vibranium, only, core.
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium.
And no media, it's just people. And people are susceptible to threats, corruption, and brainwashing.
Yeah,
So think for yourselves. We're simply laying out the facts here. Whether you believe the
And if this is the result of you thinking for yourself, it's why I don't actually say that often.
Get someone to think for you next time. I'll do it. $50, dude. I'll do it for you.
$50 per.
that it's a giant fireball with 95% of its mass being
I don't know if
crazy
you can
hot.
crowdfund
You need to have
anymore.
solid
I mean, they've been pretty generous for the titties.
arguments on your side. The latter seems crazy to me. I would personally prefer for the secret world to remain unspoiled by humans, and perhaps it's for the best. So on something I agree with our government. But all of you deserve to know. You heard the story, and these are the physics. I'm Dunk Suisuko,
No, they're not.
and I thank you for watching Into the Unknown. If you wish to
I have.
Oh my god! Wait, did we get through the video? I didn't think it could.
Yes.
I really didn't think it would happen.
support us, subscribe, like,
No,
and perhaps become one
subscribe
of the
to
first
me.
official supporters of the channel
And
by
tell
clicking the join button.
tell your family,
Get-
tell your friends.
Boom.
Oh my god, I didn't think it would happen. We've never Daedalus, you have no idea. We've never gotten through. Like, we've stretched a 12-minute video out to 2 hours. It's horrendous.
It's actually that's way easier.
Easier. Normally? What?
It's normally easier to do that than to it. Never mind.
Oh yeah, we're like, and that
Or you're
was
trying to do it
dense.
the other way. Yeah.
Like that was really dense. I didn't think
It
we'd
wasn't
get through,
that dense. It's apparently very hollow.
I mean,
Bazinga. I see what you did there.
But
this is why I don't get invited to nice places.
I'm a nice place. Sometimes people say that. It always surprises me. You know what? I love people who. My biggest compliment is people complaining that I stream too late. Which, so I don't know. I want everybody to thank Daedalus and the other guy who talks history. They recently hit 500, like within the last month, right? 500 subs.
Yeah, it was end of July, so like 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're so excited for you. He's part of President Sunday's community, which is, I think, how I found you through Titan, and
it's Titan that binds us all.
Yeah,
indeed.
One mod to rule us all.
One mod to rule us all. So normally I would be like throwing everybody over there because like you are almost always streaming right now. But would you like to tell everybody? I'm sorry,
Avery's about to revolt. We can't do that.
No. You've been talking to me for 2 hours. You know, if you'd like to go live, I wouldn't hate you because I need something to do while I'm winding down to bed. And I used to have Nitty is no longer streaming late anymore. Stephanie no longer streams late anymore. We do have the Flavor, who is streaming right now. But that's just like
Amy?
music. That's what do you call it? Yeah, Amy.
Well,
that little vixen likes to start streaming an hour after I end, so I can never raid her.
Wow. That's so annoying.
We are
so annoying.
We are unfortunately not good at schedules. However, we're going to be back Wednesday night. Me, Hetman, and Commander Macmillan. If you're familiar with him, I know you are, but to talk about the war in Ukraine and the developments there, that we know we'll be doing.
What's going on in Ukraine? Are they?
They're not in Ukraine.
Putin's like still alive and all that bullshit.
Yes, they're no longer in Ukraine. They decided to join the ranks of countries that have invaded Russia and might possibly fail, such as France, Germany, and like last year when Russia invaded Russia. That was quite the night.
Yeah. Russia. It would be funny if there weren't so many lives at stake. Much like
Uh,
here.
well, see, I've been doing what I've been doing now, military history, for nigh on a decade. If you don't laugh, you're gonna go insane.
Insane. Yes, yes, yes. God damn it, yes. And again, I'm thinking of U.S. politics. Bygones. Um, Dataless media. Who are you? Where are you? And what do you have coming up this week?
Yeah, so I'm Dataless Media. I am the co-host of Two Guys Talking History here on YouTube. We will be for sure doing Ukraine this week, and I have catch-up stuff. So we're going to talk about Netanyahu's speech to Congress that I was sick for.
God, really?
It's
I need that commentary.
I will be as sarcastic and biting as ever. So that's what's going to be coming up this week. Thank you very much for inviting me, Maya, and thank you for having me, Tapioca Weasel, and thank you for foregoing the magnets.
Oh my god.
Titan, I think Titan has told me we got enough magnets. Let me check.
Really? Yeah, I haven't seen Titan in a while. I think it's just Crystal that's awake. My mods, I don't know. I would like another mod, but it's really hard. I mean, I don't want an early mod. I have all of my mods are early mods. I need a late mod because I feel bad because I'm sure that Crystal needs like a helper later, like the after 11 o'clock. So I'm sorry, it's midnight here. And I need a mod that doesn't have an ego. If you can tolerate Blessed Be He. Because that really is if you can tolerate P-Town and Blessed Be He, then we are taking applications for late night mod. So anybody who's in the chat that would like to be a mod, we like diversity of thought here, and we like people who can be open-minded towards people with
Hollow Earth like
thoughts.
views.
Well, yeah, if we get a flat earther in here, I'm really gonna have to fight Vandy on. I would love to ban it. Like that would be my personal joy.
What,
But
if that's
I'd
'cause
really
you
have to
don't
fight
like me.
Vandy on that
Yeah,
one.
no, I will go on strike if we start banning all the flirts.
He would.
I will absolutely do that.
So taking mods with that can tolerate bullshit. And so normally what happens is, well, first of all, if you come in here spamming slurs, you're going to get the wrath of the mods, and I can't stop them. Like, or if you're Otangelo and you just happen to come in and you say hi, you might get the wrath of the slurs. You might get that too. You definitely get the wrath of the mods. And I'm out. But that aside, most people that say hi, like, they have to earn the ban. And so what happens is you get a 24-hour timeout. We all come together as a meeting, in a meeting, and say, okay, due to reasons, we believe this person should or should not be banned. This happened. I think I have 3 people banned here. So it's not a big thing. And if you want to be unbanned, then you have to personally apologize to all of my current mods, because it's not a Maya thing. The banning is not a Maya thing. We came together as a group and we said, okay, this person is toxic. We need you out. And
it's execution by committee.
Yes. And so you can't just come to me and say, hey, that wasn't fair. You actually have to go around and apologize to all the mods, which no one has ever done. And the thing I love about my mods is they're very much in the community. So they have kind of a lay of the land, whether somebody was just like drunk texting or if they really are community toxic. Like, can we not work with them? And the only person there's 2 people that me and Vandy were just like, no, fuck that. It's Blessed Be He because I weighed in, and P-Town because Vandy weighed in. Where the mods, where we kind of like called rank on the mods, but they still have to obey chat rules, which is no slurs,
Ew.
and all the other stuff that we would ban for. Obviously, if P-Town or Blessed Be He came in here using R slurs, F slurs, any slurs at all, but they do get a little more leeway on being obnoxious. Is kind of how that works.
Plausible modability I see in chat. That's it.
But no, I trust my mods completely, and I usually defer to them on all the other bands. Honestly, I personally have never banned anyone. It's always been my mods, so I defer to them to how to keep a cohesive community. And outside of those two people, they've never steered. I mean, I can't even say they've never steered me wrong. P-Town and Blessed Be He should probably be banned, but we're not gonna. Because we're weird. For $5, Jester, Lord of Fools says, "You don't stream late enough. I'm still at work for another hour. I have to be at work in a couple of hours. I would love to say that I would love to stream for another hour. I that would be a lie, but I do love you, Jester, and I'd love to help, but like these damn lazy eyes. Jester says that P-Town is a slur. Doc, would you like to respond to that?
Yo, P-Town's argument is so terrible that like you don't need to apply anything else to him. Just I like playing with my food.
Same, which I don't know. For me, Blessed Be He.
I love Blessed Be He.
I do.
Her
like,
and I have a lot of sexual tension.
There's that. And for me, the issue is like my psych major, right? Like what I see her doing is, I feel like she was always an outcast, and she did say she was a homeschooled kid, and so they're always weird. And what I see is her feeling like, well, I'm going to alienate you so that like you can't reject me for no reason. I'm going to make you earn the rejection. And I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're so used to people rejecting them that they prompt it so that it falls into a pattern that they're used to.
Right. I really do think that she's lonely and looking certainly for attention, but like I think she wants to be a part of a community, and I can relate to that. When I was in that position, I shut the fuck up and I learned what people liked and didn't like. And now I test boundaries, and now I can make friends because I know what people like and I can kind of fit into that mold, which is a very ADHD thing to do.
Very much. I am also of the spicy brain type ADHD, so
yeah,
I agree.
And so when people are like, "Oh my God, I like you so much," you get me. It's just like, yeah, you like me so much because I learned you and I know what you like, and I fed into that your algorithm, and I became the kind of person that you wanted me to be, and you don't really know me, and that these are the things that ADHD brains have to do to keep friends, and you're welcome. Or you can do what she does. Because you don't know how to read people, and it's I don't know. I do what I do. It's a life hack. Daedalus, I cut you off. Please cut me off.
No, it's definitely a learned thing for ADHD. Is kind of like hyper focusing on what people are and what they like and how to fit just right.
Yeah, so you're really a different friend to every friend, which honestly, and I know it sounds sadistic maybe, but it honestly does make you a better friend to all your friends.
It makes empathy easier, I think, on a certain level.
Yeah.
Because you're able to identify where someone is coming from
exactly
much more readily.
I like him so much. I used to think that Vandy was my like go-to white guy, and I'm thinking that maybe you and I need to talk more but
I'm around
over here. Apparently,
I'm sitting minding.
Am I not white enough for you, Maya?
You're
You
kind of
are, in
orange.
fact,
You're
white.
orange now.
The beacons are
Actually,
lit. Gondor calls for aid.
earlier you were like the whitest white guy, but
Why is this
now you're like kind of Trumpian, and
Why
Yeah,
is
you
you
this
got
got
some
orange?
you got the
cyan going
evil.
there.
What do you
It's
call it? The
applying my
evil
nightlight.
soulless ginger thing going on with the hair
It,
too.
it was. Did it suddenly change?
Yeah.
Did you like put up a white?
No,
That's why I
I
put my
turned
brick
off my
wall up.
nightlight. I don't know why my nightlight is affecting. It doesn't matter. I'm
sorry.
really white.
We believe you.
All right.
Pragmatic Crystal, how do people get in touch with you for moderation purposes? That is a great question. I am notoriously hard to get a hold of. I've heard this from other creators. I've heard this from my mother. Um, I am. I have the things. I have the Twitters. I have the Facebook. I have the Discord, which I'm probably on most frequently. I have the email, and good luck with that. It's probably the worst way to get a hold of me. There are also the smoke signals, which might trump emails and being the worst way to get a hold of me. But eventually, I will log into the thing, and the mods hate you, so it's an uphill battle anyway. Just go with it.
I accept unbanned requests in the form of interpretive dance.
I take bribes.
That's actually pretty convenient. I should start that.
Oh yeah, bribes are probably sock account bribes are probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. Every Sunday between 9:30 and 11:30 p.m. If you would like to bribe me, I will be here at that time and available for bribes. So.
I took off my shirt.
That won't happen every stream. Certainly.
Well, certainly not
I
with
mean,
that attitude.
however, $50 is a lot of money.
I put a good price on that. If I had said 100, it might not have happened.
I haven't seen you in Dapper's chat lately. Dapper
Really
required, I want to say like 150 for a pizza for Bent. And I was just like, is this like gold laced pizza? Like, or what the fuck? Is this Colombian crack? I don't understand why.
I've dropped $50 to get Bent a pizza on more than one occasion. I'm not doing 150.
It was nuts. It was nuts. I couldn't believe it. And the chat was jumping for it. I'm like, Dapper, come on. Like, I understand that we haven't gotten to this goal. However, a DiGiorno is like $10 still.
That's not the point. You like anyway.
I mean, it was just because the chat was like right there. We were like $89. And I'm like, come on, dude. But yeah, right as the credits were rolling, they hit it.
Did they?
And yeah.
Wow.
You can like 3 Jack's pizzas for $10 though. So come on.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So it's whatever. So everybody, I don't know, if you're a Dapper fan, you'll be happy to know Bent got his pizza, and all that jazz. Right. Okay. It always takes us like 40 minutes to decompress here. Vandy, do you have anything coming up this week?
I think I'm actually going to be on. I think the plan is to be on Skeptic Haven on Thursday to have a chat with Dr. Ben Davis about I think relativity, and that's going to be a hot mess because relativity is some hot nonsense.
Relativity is a lot.
It's
shit.
more mindfucking than
gist.
quantum mechanics.
Yeah, no, quantum mechanics is worse for me. Relativity, I can get the gist of it. Quantum mechanics is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I spend a lot more time doing quantum mechanics than I do doing like special relativity in particular, because it seems like it should make sense and then it just does not the thing that you're thinking it's going to do. It's really weird.
Relativity?
I never keep
Or
up.
quantum mechanics?
Special relativity.
Special
For
relativity.
me.
Gotcha.
Because like time dilation and stuff, like what different people see seems mutually inconsistent, and like it's not, but like that's because math, and that's not a satisfying answer for a lot of people. So
yeah, I kind of wish I was better at calculus, because there's quite a few things in special relativity and quantum mechanics where it's just like everybody keeps saying you just have to see the math, and for me it's like that long ass equation that I made you like, well, what's G and what's R and what's T? I can't look at the math and just like know what's happening. I have to learn the math before I could see the math, and then it's like it's a whole thing, right? And I spend most of my days reading legal briefs and directing senior management on how to properly follow law so that we don't get sued. So, and then also trying to pick up Spanish so that I can speak to a quarter of my staff. So the whole special relativity thing kind of got shelved until later. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, we don't have that kind of time.
I'm just saying though, right? So like, I mean, I would love to learn about how the Earth is properly hollow, but it's a lot of math, and it's taken away from my legal studies.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this about laws, but they're changing every day. And laws are fun because, like, without the law changing, the interpretation can be changed.
Yep.
Yeah, I recently learned that the president is a king, by the way.
Oh, yeah, heard that, which is an interesting twist on a different law that we don't normally come into conflict with in employment law. But a bit of a sticky wicket in me wanting any kind of civil right.
It is a little tricky, yes.
Yeah. Bum me out a little bit. But here we are. All right, so I will also be on Skeptic Haven tomorrow talking about black shit and, down with patriarchy and all that nonsense. Tomorrow, Skeptic Haven at 8-ish, maybe 8:30, depending on, CP time. And because, we be black. And that is a black joke that if you're not black, you cannot make without getting banned for slurs. See how that works?
I'm white. When did that happen?
I know, right? Also, I think on Wednesday I'm going to be on Dr. Dan's channel. What's Dr. Dan's channel's name? Creation Myths. Yes. Also, talking about black shit. Also Nazis. I don't want to lose that. Don't let me lose that space. Pragmatic Crystal, thank you for still being awake. I love you. Also, again, anybody who does not have an ego, taking applications to help out Crystal in this space. Thursday, Robin is taking her daughter to college. So I will be filling in at the Kentucky Atheist channel talking about black shit. Also Nazis.
Fun.
I feel like there's a lot of Nazis occurring right now.
There's a lot of Nazis doing Nazi shit right now. Nobody believes me. And this is partially because nobody understands what Nazi shit is. Daedalus, you would know this. People are always saying that things are fascist, and they're not. And trying to shed more light. And I don't think it's like being properly, I don't think I'm doing it right. It's just like, hey, this is fascist. And they're like, okay, we'll incorporate this into our other shit, which is fascist, which is shit that Trump doesn't like, including Melania wearing a coat. And I'm like, no, not fascist though.
the word I have moved towards to describe what's happening is authoritarian.
Which is well, okay, it's a subset of fascism, sure.
Kind of the other way around. Fascism is a subset of authoritarianism.
Authoritarianism, yeah.
You
I'm
can
sorry.
get to the one
You're
without
right.
the other.
It's
The
midnight. I
problem,
apologize.
the problem with defining fascism is that it's really inconsistently done across like the spectrum. So like you can pick up Umberto Eco's essay Fascism, right? And it has his points for what fascism is, but they're all really generalized. So you get to the same place. And the trouble is that whatever flavor of authoritarianism you're going to get, starting there for that and explaining how you're kind of surrendering rights to authoritarian movements is probably more effective than anything else.
Yeah, and I too did think that making America great again would involve seeing less swastikas, and
Yeah, that's pretty alarming. But the Confederate flags are pretty ambiguous.
thank you. I was just about to bring that up. If we were, I don't know, if Americans were more like Nazis, Confederate flags would actually be banned.
Yeah.
But let us not forget that when the Nazis were looking for role models, they did look at the USA.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you've listened to me over the past couple of months, you know I've been ranting about a particular country in the Middle East killing people indiscriminately.
Same. Oh, maybe not here, but on other people's
Not
channels, certainly.
sure. So, without getting into all of that, I've seen a lot of really bad arguments on both sides of this particular
Yeah,
issue.
same.
But I think there's a parallel to what Israel is doing and what the United States did as it took land from Native Americans. It's authoritarian. It doesn't mean that the whole society became authoritarian, but as you will find, plenty of people willing to say they're scratch a liberal and a fascist bleeds, right? There is that little bit in all of us that can kind of go off the rails.
Yeah, and there's that.
The U.S. had a Nazi issue, sort of. The U.S. like they were there, and
Right, they were there. They were
they
definitely
were
there.
there.
Did we almost
They
have a
just
Nazi coup?
no, we had almost had a pro-libertarian coup before there were libertarians.
I
It
thought
was
that
business.
there were Nazis that were trying to overthrow the American government before Pearl Harbor.
That I don't. So I know FDR was the subject of the business plot, where a number of businessmen who did become Nazis or Nazi sympathetic later on. Uh, there is a very distinct. There's a very distinct link between the people who like want to bring us back to the gold standard, who are kind of crazy because they got their
Yeah,
start
that's
there.
nuts and is not economically viable.
No, not remotely. Um, and libertarianism and they're like you look at those libertarian Twitter accounts, for example, today they're off the rails and like we should kill babies because no one should be required to take care of them. Like what? No, and there's very much a particular problem that like a link between these kind of liberty types and authoritarianism and Nazism and that's kind of where they got their start as a cohesive movement. Um, anyone who's trying to tell you that you should buy gold is just out of their mind, and use gold instead of fiat money is out of their mind.
Sorry. Yeah, my internet likes to be a bitch when we're not. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of been a bitch all night. In fairness, I don't know what's going on though. Like everything looks fine. I blame the weasel just because he's my go-to.
That seems fair. Oh, he's gone. He's gone again. Now we can't have to blame someone else. Where's Titan? Find Titan.
Where's Titan? Oh, Titan's probably asleep. Goddamn Titan. All right. So anybody, yeah, definitely hit the like button. I nominate me for the worstest of the worst. No, Sydney Raptor, you're the bestest of the best. Hearts out to Sydney. Oh wait, I'm an hour out. Go a minute out. So U.S. had a Nazi issue. We dealt with that. People forget how many Congress people helped the Nazis. I did highlight that. It's a
Yes.
really good point, though. Was it the one Smedley Butler who was asked to participate? Do you have any idea what that means? Smedley?
Smedley Butler was a business person in the 20s and 30s,
Ah,
a
gotcha.
fairly successful business magnate. I do believe he was involved in the business plot, yes. Don't quote me off the top of my head. I'd have to go look it up real fast.
There's a lot of sympathies for the Nazis in Congress in the 40s. These are facts.
There is absolutely there, particularly early on in the 40s.
So yeah, Viclet, I agree with you. I love everyone here. The show has been fun. Daedalus, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for inviting me on your show. That was super fun. Because my co-host abandoned me. Rude.
Well, you're welcome, and ditto. Thank you for inviting me tonight. This was fun.
All right, so everyone, go to Two Guys Talking History, best history channel on YouTube, and we will see you here next Sunday. Well, we'll be talking to someone fascinating about things, and yeah, it'll be great. It'll be so much fun. Anything before we go, gentlemen? All right. Say bye.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good one.